Meanwhile, you're always about women's business, always talking about the sisters, always talking to the sisters. They've got mahrams, they've got walis, they've got their guardians, and it isn't you. I mean, I hate to use their terminology, but this is about the most beta thing you can possibly do. Always in the women's section. And the irony is that these are the same ones who are endlessly droning on and on about masculinity. Meanwhile, you can't do the basic thing, the most basic thing that men do as men, which is to ignore women. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean that in an obnoxious way, but women have their world, their sphere, and men have their world and their sphere. But meanwhile, you're always trying to weasel your way into the sphere of women, under the guise of nasiha, under the guise of advice. But you're just like a peeping Tom who's trying to justify why he's doing what he's doing by saying that you're just trying to check up on the sisters to make sure that they're safe. No, it's not your business. The men are over here, brother. Meanwhile, you keep sliding your way back to where the sisters are. And, this is very disrespectful. It's very insulting to their walis. I mean, let's take this offline, Let me catch you on the street talking to my wife or talking to my sisters about how they shouldn't go out, or they shouldn't go to the gym, or they shouldn't go to school, or you don't like the way they're dressed, or what have you. I wish you would. You better hope that that red pill you took is a painkiller, because you're going to be dancing cheek to cheek with the concrete here.
Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Run up when you see me, no disguises. Keep that thing with me, cause I don't do surprises. J Chanel, show and tell, all facts, no lies, streak. Get your life, cause I'm the type to come to it that 9 quick. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life.
Focus there.
Watch them cause they after me like a pot of gold. I'm not for play, ask Keisha if you don't know. I'm a little bit cray-cray, approach me, you better be right. If you don't come correctly, you can catch these hands tonight. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle's so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life.
Get your life.
Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life.
Get your life, boo.
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Good morning, good evening, good night, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How we doing down there in the listening lounge? Your nighttime, right time DJ Music here with another episode of the Chop Shop. Let me turn down my background music just a little bit more. In the meantime, y'all give me a 1 or a 2 down there in the listening lounge if you can hear me. A little 1 or 2. Hey there, folks. Hold on just a second. Let me get back up here. Turn this down a little bit more. All right, y'all give me a 1 or a 2. Let me see. There we go. We got a 1 or a 2. Hey there, Mella. How you doing, Pure Butterfly? What's up, Corey? How you folks doing? Let's see. What's going on there, Brucey? How you doing? Good to see you, good brother. Hope everybody's had a great week so far. But, folks, y'all see what the topic is. Now, I'm sure a lot of you folks are familiar with DJ Hamp. DJ Hamp. Hey, Alex, how you doing, my man? It's been a while. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. It's been a while since I've really visited DJ Hamp's platform. I don't like a whole lot of things that he says. I think DJ Hamp is one of those guys is wolf in sheep's clothing, if you ask me. So, like my mama said, if you ain't got nothing good to say about somebody sometime, best thing is not to say nothing. But when you put out trash like this, DJ Hamp, I got to say something. Domestic discipline, folks. 3 streams did he have with some loudmouth named TUKAY over there condoning if your woman don't conform to the way you think things should be, or your children don't conform to the way you think things should be, beat her. A text straight out of, what is that, Color Purple. You told Harpo to beat me. Now, maybe back in the good old days, maybe that was the thing to do. If you tried to get your woman to conform, or as you say, she got out of line, you gave her the backhand, you backhand her, and she crawled over in the corner. Back in them days, women didn't have the choice. If they so happened to be in an abusive relationship, there was no such things as the National Domestic Violence Hotline that they could call. That's why I put it up on the screen there, ladies and gentlemen. For those who can't see it, 800-799-SAFE. Use it if any man, black, white, green, purple, or whatever, tells you that in order for you to get right with me, I'm going to have to beat your ass from time to time. If I don't like what you said to me, I'm going to bust you around a little bit. Oh, most definitely, Mother. You have to deal wisely with this topic. Some folks are not going to agree with everything that I say, and some folks are not going to like everything I say, and vice versa. Some folks are going to agree, and some folks are going to disagree. But I think, in this case, this is not a topic for men to be talking about if they're talking about they're building their communities. If they call themselves leaders of their communities, domestic violence or domestic discipline, as they call it, should not be in their repertoire. Now, for all them idiots who think that what they're going to hear on the screen is a direct representation of what they call DD, domestic discipline, actually, no, it's not. It's a whole community of those folks. I didn't realize it. But hey, to each his own. That's why I put it down here to you as a grown person. If you decide this is the lifestyle that you want to live, that ain't my business. The only time it becomes my business when you put it out here. So y'all check this out. Let's read this right here. Let's read this. It says domestic discipline is a consensual relationship dynamic where one partner takes a more, I can't see it because of the screen. Let me see. I got something on the top of it. Hold on. There we go. Where one partner takes a more authoritative role and manage behaviors and enforcing rules, fostering mutual respect and personal growth. What's the key words in that? Mutual respect. Now, the 2 streams that we're going to review from DJ Hamp, you showed me the ounce of mutual respect and what this guy is talking about. What is domestic discipline? Domestic discipline, DD, refers to a structured relationship dynamic in which one partner often refers as head of the household. assumes a more authoritative role. This partner sets rules and expectations for behavior, while the other partner, here's the key word, agrees to abide by these rules and accepts, that another key word, accepts the consequences for their violations. I'm sure a whole lot of us have seen 50 Shades of Grey, part 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. The practice is based on mutual, another one of them key words, mutual consent, and aims to create a safe and respectful environment where both partners can thrive. But y'all gonna hear this loose nigga here that we gonna get to the screen on in just a little bit, trying to tell you that this domestic, whatchamacallit, is only one way, and that's from the man eyes. Domestic discipline could be, the woman could be the one that's in charge. So 2K or TK or whatever the fuck you call yourself, be careful who you run into, because somebody might just prove you wrong. Somebody might just prove the loose nigga that you are, that run around beat up on women when they can't get their way. Now, if you're floating around the clouds anywhere, and if you think you can come up here and defend this, by all means. Hey there, Miss J. How you doing? How you doing? The Puerto Rican princess. How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome in. But again, folks, clear as day, mutual consent. It's right there in black and white. Right there in black and white. Says it right there in the title. Too many times. Mutual consent. Agree. But you're not going to hear old 2K or any of them niggas over there that agree with this use those words. They're using them as an authoritarian, and they have the right to. They have the right to beat their children or their wife. So without further ado, folks, let me, as much as I got to, I got to. Hey there, Candy Cane. How you doing? How you doing? Great to see you as always. Always a pleasure. Let me flick on over here. What we want to do. Let's start right here. Let's start with this one right here.
The last group of niggas, the 50 and up, are the worst batch of niggas God ever created. Them niggas are bums. This generation that y'all see right here on this panel has got that right. We have steered the ship. We back in these PTA meetings. That's all I see at the park is black fathers. We getting it right. But now we are on the cusp of our worst crop of black women ever. And it is up to y'all.
It's our fault.
That was our fault as well.
That's our fault.
And it's up to us to get this shit back together. But that starts with leadership from men like me.
So,
first of all, leaders move in silence, 2K. They're not on panels screaming at the top of their voice, acting like a little bitch.
I see why you talk a lot.
Let me back that up. Let me back that up again.
I don't really have much on the leadership thing. I think holistically, the more you give people, the harder it is to convince them of a different way of living. I think things came with resources from both sides. I think that we fall in love with the thought of being with somebody. And I think leadership is about how much you can recreate successful habits in somebody else, whether it be your kids, your partner, whatever the case may be. Leadership is about the results you get with the people that follow you. And I just leave that there.
So Mims, what do you think about what the ancestors would say regarding a couple thing? Well, the specific thing about the conduct, right? That maybe 2K alluded to in terms of the conduct of let's say the women, or what do you think they would say about the conduct, generally speaking, in regards to relationships?
I mean, I think it's apples and oranges. I think, honestly, I hate to use this, but like, I think the structure seemed better, but what was going on with the lens that we have about trauma and about, generational habits or curses, I think they will be disappointed, but I think we're dealing with things that they wouldn't be able to fathom. You know what I mean?
Well, I can speak directly of the voice of the ancestors. Yes, we would be very disappointed of what we see now in our young men. Not only up on these panels constantly arguing with women, but literally acting like women, running around saying that women are the problem when you guys are the problem. And I'll speak directly to DJ Hamp on this. You say you're a leader in the community. A leader of a community, sir, would not have a nigga that's promoting what he's promoting on his platform. I don't give a damn how you say it. I don't get what you trying to explore. If you was going into this domestic violence thing or this thing that you was talking about, you would not have a nigga up there like 2K on your platform. You would go get all your research and present the pros and cons, not some loudmouth, probably been in jail, two-time loser. That the only place that he can talk when anybody pays attention is here on your platform. Because I noticed you did a part 3. So that means of all the shit in the world that you can talk about, it was important enough for you for some nigga to come up on your platform and tell black men that let's take it back to a day when we could beat our women with no consequences. Because that's what this boils down to. If she get out of line, beat her. Your kids get out of line, beat them. She don't fix you a sandwich because you going to hear him say that, beat him. And then you want to go lay down with this woman. Let that make sense. You bloody her up, and then later on in that night, you want to love her up. Let it make sense. But this is the kind of shit that you promote, Hamp. Instead of having them fat ass niggas over there in the gym along with you, you got them up on your panel talking about what's the best way to choose a woman. No, have y'all seen some of these niggas? What woman in their right mind would choose you? Out of shape, out of breath, emotional.
I mean, I think they were in survival mode all the time. I think that we have the luxury of choosing, and that within itself makes it hard. Back then, they couldn't really choose like that. You got who you got, you rock with them, you couldn't move around. I think the only disappointment, man, is in what comes from our relationships. It's too easy to have a broken home now. It's too easy to do something to not take care of the responsibility. I think black men have stepped up. You know what I mean? I think we're showing up now. I think it's harder to believe because with social media, with ChatGPT and Google, they're trying to keep a narrative that may not be true.
Okay.
I think that's why you see a lot more men stay now, even if they're not happy, because they're trying to combat that perception that they're not there, or they're not there in the home with their child.
Well,
That's a perception. If you don't have to combat. It's a fact. Some of our children didn't grow up in our homes. But there's a difference from what you guys are trying to talk about in this. You guys are completely trying to discredit, as y'all keep using the word ancestors. Y'all trying to completely erase what folks did in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. The reason y'all are up here is, like you say, Hamp, from your ancestors. The reason you're able to speak freely like this is from your ancestors. The ones that got bit by dogs, the ones that sat at lunch counters, the ones that was strange fruit. Your ancestors wrote a song about what happened to us, not only in the South, up north too, niggas. And then here you have this, y'all keep your eye on him from time to time. Watch how antsy 2K gets, like a little child. Like a petulant child. Ooh, they won't let me talk. Watch it. Y'all watch it.
But that would be mirroring is what they used to do, and seemingly how it's less about them and more about the family construct, right? I think that the opportunity for choice, I don't see us benefiting from it. I think the opportunity is there, but has it benefited us?
I think it has. Okay. I'll put it like this.
Because remember, we talk about family and structure and marriages and all that stuff. Right?
Yeah.
And another thing, Hamp, and all you folks on this panel right here, y'all act like black people are a monolith. Y'all act like black people don't go through good times, bad times, divorces, marriages, babies, and all that. Y'all think that the shit that we do has to be put under a microscope. Y'all do know we are the minority. Y'all do know that. But it's mind-boggling to me to see how much emphasis brothers, so-called brothers, put on what y'all call the degeneracy of black women. It's mind-blowing to me. And Hamp, you up here trying to sound like you know what the fuck you talking about. Nothing but talking in circles. Hoping you land on something that somebody can understand what you're saying. You're not very smart, sir. And I don't know who told you that you were. The social construct, and just because a nigga use a couple big words more that's longer than 5 letters, that don't make you smart. That just makes you know how to read.
So I think you give human choice, you allow a human error too. There's flaws in us being able to choose. Sometimes you mess up, sometimes you don't. I do think it's benefited us because, again, to my point I made earlier, we're further than we ever been. People may not like it. People may think it's supposed to look one way. We're further than we ever been. Marriages are coming out with more to give per se than they did then. But Hamp, I think it's apples and oranges, bro. I think it's apples and oranges. I think the circumstances now you can't really compare from back then.
Okay, so let me just ask a couple clarifying questions. So if we had a 60% marriage rate, now it's 30%. What, right? And then the money that we're making, we're the lowest on the totem pole in comparison to our counterparts. Our kids are born out of wedlock upwards of 70%. So I'm just trying to figure if they saw this and we gave them context. I'm just trying to understand how you come into like this.
So because that's
and then our divorce rate is 70%. Sorry.
But the ancestors would blame the man for lack of leadership.
Shut up, nigga. All across the board, everybody's getting divorced. It's not just black communities. Now, if you have legitimate, or if you can point out legitimate things, Hamp, about the divorce rate, the baby rate, that's a completely different conversation. But that's not what this is about. Literally, your stream is saying something about domestic violence or domestic discipline. What the fuck does that got to do with what you're talking about the conversation right now? What does the elders have to do with this nigga about to tell you to beat your chick? The ancestors. Because the ancestors would tell you, nigga, you going to jail. That's what's going to happen. You going to jail. You going to jail. And I guarantee it, when y'all listen to this dude, TUKAY, it won't be a far-fetched idea to think this nigga probably been to jail for beating some woman's ass already. Because you know one thing about these men, these type men, they don't fight other men. Their strength lies in beating up the weaker sex. That's where his strength lies.
100%. No, hold on. I just want to see because he on apples and oranges. I'm trying to see like our divorce rate is crazy as hell. Like all our things in terms of these relationships don't seem to be bolting out well in terms of further than we ever been. It seems like more regressive in terms of relationships. Because
choice. Back then, you didn't have a choice but to stay. That's my thing. You give humans choice, they can make it. But the point about if you take the divorce rate, what you said first was the marriage rate went from 60 to 30. I would bet my bottom dollar about 15% of that is just people choosing not to get married versus people choosing to get divorced. So that rate can decrease just because people are choosing not to marry. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not doing all the other. It can. It absolutely. If just because the marriage rate goes down doesn't necessarily mean that it was solely divorce happening. People can choose not to get married and the marriage rate be lower year to year. But
and he's absolutely right about that. Divorce is not the only contributing factor to the low marriage and low birth rate. That's not the only contributing factor. Women are choosing not to be married. Women are choosing their careers. Women are choosing their lifestyle over being in a relationship with someone that think they have autonomy over them. And this is not something new. This has been going on for eons. I hate to tell y'all fellas this, as much as we want to believe that we are the sole leaders in our community, we are not, because without the excellence and the help of women, none of us would be able to do some of the shit that we do. From the nourishment she cooked for your sorry ass in the morning to the time that she wash your clothes. And some of you men up here got wives, got girlfriends. So this correction, this next statement goes out to the ladies. These are the guys that you choose. And folks got mad at me when I said this. Once you leave the protection grid, that's the hardest thing to get back in, because we can't keep saving you from niggas like this. Go look at some of the comments. Y'all go look at some of the comments, Hamp, of these 3 streams that you put out. Go look at the environment that you're fostering. Please tell me you don't have daughters. We don't need the likes of Sotomayor when we got wolf in sheep clothing like you, brother. And I use that term loosely. Look at the comment section. Go look in this video and look at the comment section and how many of those men were advocating for violence against their women. Fuck whether they got mamas, fuck whether they got nieces, fuck whether they got sisters, fuck whether they got little baby girls. All they worrying about is the piece of pussy that they couldn't get. So the best thing to do is let me go beat that bitch ass. And then let me sit up on a platform and beat my chest like I'm Magilla Gorilla, telling y'all how great I am.
To the point of benefiting, back then, the ancestors, once they married people, they have no choice. You give us choice, you're going to pick what you want. Everybody's in this mode of self-care, mental health, buzzword. So we continue to individualize ourselves, and we don't know how to be with anyone. And that's why I think the problem lies.
It's not a choice, it's a trick. We are divorce. It's not a choice, it's a trick. We are incentivizing our women greatly to divorce us. And hey, we'll give you cash compensation. We're gonna give you child support. If you need food stamps, we're gonna give you this. They have literally, like, the ancestors will be like, hey, young blood, why is that girl falling for the trick of the man? He gonna be like, what the fuck is that? Like, because we can't lead properly because they are being deceived.
First and foremost, you're gonna hear this guy one day later on say he was in the military. If you were in the military, you will know right now, no one gives you permission to lead. Nobody gives you permission to lead. Nobody can take you out of a leader position. If someone looks at you and designates you as a leader, it stands out. It's by your actions. In the Marine Corps, there's 14 leadership traits. I guarantee you, this guy TUKAY does not have one of them. Not one of them.
They are being deceived because there's no longer a method where we can, or, into that, discipline a woman. Let's be totally honest here, bro. And then on top of that, we have to. Damn, I just forgot what I was going to say. Okay, I digress.
So, okay. Oh, damn, I forgot what I was going to say. It was some. Oh, August. Let me ask you this, and then we'll get to Alan. You can say what you wanted to say. I just want to ask you this, just on something that was offered, right? So they have in Kentucky, somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. In Kentucky, it is automatic 50-50 custody.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And for the past 4 years, I think it's been about 4 years, the divorce rate dropped by 25% in Kentucky because that incentive, right, how it's perceived, was taken away. Just
and again, I don't understand these niggas that talking about women being incentivized to get divorced. You know what's incentivized a woman to get divorced? A sorry motherfucker. A man who's not doing what he's supposed to do. A man that's not treating his woman well. A man that's beating on his woman. See, this is what I'm saying about you, Hamp. You be saying shit to really think you're a smart man, but you're not. You're dumb as a fucking bag of rocks. You're stupid. That's the best way to explain you, who you are. Maybe your hat on too tight. Incentivize. Let me knock you up. And that way it'll incentivize this woman not to leave you. Does that make sense? And again, that Brucey, you're right. The ladies are on the panel looking like, damn. And so again, I'll ask you, ladies, why y'all ain't left yet? Why don't y'all lead these men to their wares and go start up your own panel and say, you know what? DJ Hamp is full of shit. Because you're not going to convince this guy 2K of anything. I haven't heard that you're not going to convince this guy with the brown beanie on of anything. The guy that spoke that's in the black right here, you know, he seems to be on the fence. He could go with the right people, maybe a couple of doses of some BGS and a couple more doses of you there, Hamp. He'll probably be on the side of thinking, yeah, domestic discipline is the thing to go. It's the way to do it. Advocating to beat somebody's ass.
When I'm listening to y'all converse.
That's a fact.
Yes. Yeah.
But you can say what you want. I just want to see what you thought about that, and then
I think that's we expect human nature to move based off of what they're incentivized by. So if you have an incentive to wreck your family and you can have the freedom of choice to not want to be there, and there's more incentive for you to not be there, and you're gonna land right on your feet, then you're gonna make that choice. I think 2K, even though he be
okay, again, there goes that word incentivize. So, folks, maybe these folks don't look at the political arena, or maybe they don't do their homework to see exactly how much women and children get from the typical welfare. These people that are on SNAP or some kind of government subsidies, if you break it down, are living off $6 to $10 a day. For you niggas that smoke, that's a cheap pack of cigarettes. For you niggas that smoke, that's a nickel bag and a blunt. This is what you men are up there saying that these women are leaving their households for. $6 a damn day. Children eat. If you had children, children eat constantly. I've seen issues and plenty of stories of women saying, you know what? Let me not eat that because my children are hungry. So I'm going to make sure they eat first. I ain't never seen nobody balling out of control on SNAP benefits.
hyperbolic about the smacking or whatever the case may be. I think he's 100% correct. I think if we look at the fact of how our community is operating in this day, is because the nuclear family doesn't exist, and you have women who are trying to determine what leadership is. You have followers that's trying to tell men what it means to be a leader, and so that is
okay. Who told you that women can't be leaders? Who convinced y'all? Who put the too much sugar in your Kool-Aid to believe that women cannot be leaders? Lewis and Clark wouldn't have believed that. What's up there, Zero? How you doing, good brother? How do you think the new world got opened up? I think it's by this Indian chick they call Sacagawea. Lewis and Clark thought that Sacagawea knew what the fuck she was talking about. Let's go back through history. Great women in time. Let's go to R&B music. Let's go to rap music. Let's talk about Cynthia Robinson. Do any of y'all niggas know who she is? I could go through all kinds of different categories of our life on this earth. What makes us more comfortable? The ironing board, the broom, trip to the moon. All came from the conscious mind of not women, black women. It's heartbreaking. It's disgusting. Yes, I will. And just
a problem because that's not them submitting to the idea of your leadership. That's them trying to qualify you as a leader, as if they're the ones that are to qualify you. And so when you have the structure of the family the way it used to be, you'll see us have made way more progress working together versus us having this interior fight, gender war that we're having that's systematically destroying us. And all we're doing is kind of pointing outward instead of looking inward to say, you know what, there's an issue here.
And the stock of the black woman is down right now. Like literally, I can go outside and I can see it. You can close your eyes all you want to, but if I can go outside or get on the internet and see her half naked, then guess what? I don't have nothing to respect about it. I see it all right here.
All right. First and foremost, there's white women, there's Latino women, there's Asian women, there's all kind of women on half naked on the internet. But the main thing is 2K. See, this is another thing I don't understand about y'all niggas when y'all say they're on the internet. You not gonna see what you don't want to see. If you don't want to see half naked women on the internet, on TikTok or Instagram or any of your feed, guess what? You don't have to look at it. Now, me personally, I prefer a few nice young women scattered amongst my feed. I'm a man. I'm a heterosexual man. Why would I not want the softness and the good looks? And I can't smell them, so all I can do is look at them. Why would I not want that scattered amongst my panel or my platforms? Why would I get up there and complain about it? What's up, Irby? How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Why would I get up and complain about half-naked women? I used to love page 47 of the Jet magazine. Was it 47 or 43? Jet Beauty of the Week. We didn't complain about that back then, folks. We didn't complain about Pam Grier with her shirt tied up, with her bosom showing a little bit. So I got to go with Sharon Bracey and what's his name, Brownsville on this. Some of y'all might be really lovers of men and just don't know how to express it. Because real men don't complain about seeing the breast of women or seeing the thigh of a woman. That's not a complaint from me. Now, if it's one of my nieces, we got problems. But some of y'all up here complain about women busting it open for the gram, and your nieces or your wives in some cases is up there busting it open for the gram. So it's not an external problem, it's an internal problem, nigga. Handle your business. That's why I always start these live streams out what my man is saying. That's my woman. You are not in charge of her. Charge the women that's around you. None of these women on this panel up here, I can say, all I can do is give them advice. And just like the grocery store ladies, pick up what you want, leave the rest there for somebody else. See? That's what I'm saying. I remember listen, Irby, I remember the day of they used to talk about her forehead, but I wasn't looking at Tyra Banks' forehead back when she was a Victoria's Secret model. Was you? Sure wasn't. I remember what's that what's the name of the show? Everybody was in love with Jasmine Guy. But did she dress provocatively? Hell no. Tina Turner was on stage. Boy, I tell you what, big wheels keep on turning. You know where my mind was turning. Look at them. Look, Lord, look. But so why do these men get up on these platforms complain about scantily clad women? Again, I got to go with what Brownsville and Sharon Bracey said. Lovers of fucking men. I'll open up the panel here in just a few because I want you, before y'all ladies come up here, I want y'all to hear what this guy says. I'm going to try and not interrupt it no more, but I don't think that's going to pan out too well.
And go home and do the rest with some lotion. Like, give a nigga something to want. And don't get me wrong, Tiff. I'm still holding niggas to the fire. The last group of niggas, the 50 and up, are the worst batch of niggas God ever created. Them niggas are bums.
No, if we created niggas like you. If we are the worst batch of niggas 50 and over, that means we created niggas like you. Those are the niggas that you need to be talking about. The motherfucker that created you. Because I guarantee you, none of my sons would think that. And the thing about this, folks, when you hear men like that, so-called men speaking like that, that tells you that they're not educated, because it does not take very much to go up on any platform, any search engine, and just type in the 60s and type in dogs and guns and the police and see what the first thing that pops up. Black men in their teens, 14, 15, 16, 17, that would be in their 50s, 60s, and 70s now, getting bit by dogs for a taste of the American pie, for the baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet, the American dream. That's what we was getting bit for. That's what those 4 little girls lost their life over, because somebody decided that black people was too uppity. Do you know how old those 4 little girls would be right now, sir, 2K, if some white supremacist decided that he didn't like black people, so let me go blow up a fucking church? No, the worst group of black men in this that's ever set foot on this earth is the motherfuckers your age, you and Hamp. And that other little motherfucker that's below you. That's where the problem lies. It's not with the elder generations, it's with your generation that act like people that come from the 60s and the 70s and the 80s didn't know better. Nigga, you here because of us. Literally. Don't blame us because your daddy wasn't shit. Don't blame us because your mama was a hoe. Don't blame us because every time your daddy came home for his low rent job, he busts up your mama upside the head. Or you. Don't blame the world for that.
This generation that y'all see right here on this panel has got that right. We have steered the ship. We back in these PTA meetings. That's all I see at the park is black fathers. We getting it right. But now we are on the cusp of our worst crop of black women ever. And it is up to y'all.
It's our fault.
That was our fault as well.
That's our fault. Yeah.
And it's up to us to get this shit back together. But they start with leadership from men like me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to tell you, I had a very loving father.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Rest in peace.
Wait a minute, Miss Lady.
He never hit me.
Wait a minute, Miss Lady. He says, now, y'all put a 1 in the chat room if that y'all heard any leadership qualities out that nigga that was just speaking. Put a 1 in the chat room. No need, because there was none. Not a leadership quality. Nothing about leadership came out of his mouth. A bunch of hyperbolic bullshit pandering, trying to prove to the world that he's some kind of man. Like I said, folks, probably, if y'all can find out what his real name is and wanted to spend a little bit of money, I bet he has a record. I bet he does. I'm laying odds on it that chances are wherever he's from, there's a domestic violence charge on his head. And you know why I think so? Because listen to how he responds to this woman after she speaks.
Never. And
why you talk a lot.
So, 1, don't disrespect my father, because I'm not disrespecting you at all.
I didn't disrespect your father.
You literally, the slight was because
the mere fact that you said the reason why she's talking is because she wasn't hit was a disrespectful mention to her father. What you're saying is her father should have beat her, and she wouldn't be on this panel talking. So yes, you were disrespectful to her father, to her lineage. What you're saying is her father could not and should not ever communicate without his hand. Hey, what's up there, Shar? How you doing? Welcome in. Let me finish this up there, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll right after this little part here, then I'll drop the link.
We see why you talk a lot. You would never hit.
You were being
It's not disrespect.
You see,
again,
you see why you talk a lot. You were never hit. Hamp, at that point in time, as your so-called pillar of the community, as a leader of men, why did you drop him off the panel? Why did you continue to let this nigga speak? You just sitting up there staring into the camera, listening to this man berate and disrespect this woman. Oh, I know. No money involved. Support the stream. Ain't no money involved in this. It's money involved in letting this nigga berate a black woman. Y'all see?
The fact that you want to lord over a woman instead of having a benevolent leadership, it says a lot. If you have to hit a woman to make her behave you, it shows a lack of your leadership skills. And if that's what you need to resort to, then that's a thing. But what I'm saying is, can I say that black women as a whole, as a conglomerate, are there corrective behaviors that need to happen? Absolutely. Can I say that there are things that we need to address? Absolutely. Am I going to condone physical violence? That's where you lose me. So there are things that we can address and atone and correct without you ever needing to raise a hand at. The thing is, even in the discourse that we're having back and forth, just like you have a wife, I have a husband. My husband has never raised a voice. It never has called me out. So the fact of me even thinking about him physically hitting me is something that's so abstract and so foreign that I'm trying to process what you're saying. But again, to me, if you got to hit the weaker vessel, it just shows your weakness to me as a man. But that's me as a woman processing like that ain't it. But when you're talking about as far as us and black families and fixing things, I'm there with you 100%. But strategically, how we get there, when we got to start treating adults like children, it's a problem. I don't even think hitting kids, to me, is like that's a worst case scenario. Worst case scenario. Because we don't hit other people, grown adults. You're not going to hit Hamp because Hamp said some shit that you don't like. So what you're saying is, all these other men on the panel, if they don't act accordingly.
No, Miss Lady, he's not going to hit Hamp at all because Hamp is a man. He's going to cower in a corner. He's going to ball up or he's going to figure out some reason how to shimmy on up out of that room. Men like this do not hit other men. They do not stand up in the face of other men. These are weak men. Any man that tells you he has to rule his house with his fist is not a leader. And technically, he may have been born a man, but he is not a real man. Look at his demeanor.
You're not going to box them out. You're going to figure something out. So if you can see them man to man, then me as your partner, as your rib, as your better half, as the person that's doing life with you, you shouldn't want to beat me. We should figure out a way to reconcile. And if you have to correct me, that's something completely different. But physical abuse will never be the answer.
Don't call it physical abuse. Call it corrective punishment. Then, if that make you feel better,
it's
gonna happen. That's just what it is.
Well, I'm glad.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. And from this point on, you ladies you're welcome to come on up and tell me this would be the kind of person that you would choose as a mate. There's the link, folks, if anybody want to come up and join the conversation. But again, listen to his rebuttal. I know, I sincerely hope that the woman that's with you wakes up. And I hope she wakes up before it's too late. Ma'am, the bottom of my screen and on the thumbnail, there's the number to the domestic violence hotline. I suggest you use it. The link doesn't work. Let me try another one there. Wait a minute. I don't know what happened there. One sec. Let me try this again. All right. Let me try this one then. I don't know what happened. Try it again. Hold on. Try that, Miller. I'm not sure why that's not working, but try that one right there. Let's see if that link works. Maybe they don't. I don't know.
But you're a
like,
woman that's willing to take a hit. I'm not taking a
okay, well, listen, you will be correctively punished. I can guarantee you this.
Hey, TUKAY, I gotta ask a question.
What's up, bro?
You correctively punish your wife so she could, act
If,
right?
if lines are crossed, yes.
I mean, have you had to do that in the past?
Not too often.
But you have.
If I have to, yes.
No. You said not too often, which means you did it before.
If I have to, yes. So if she has overstepped, yes.
You've done it before.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. So, Hamp, again, this is what made me do this stream. You hear this man saying, yes, absolutely, I have hit my wife before, so I wasn't too far from wrong. I'm sure that at some point in time, it was not only your wife that you hit. Or if you're married, I'm sure it's not only your children that you hit. I'm sure of it. Absolutely. Hey there, Zahara. How you doing? I know. Listen. What's that? What's the joke? The last time I got slapped on the ass, I'm still looking for him, and that was the doctor. Now, I grew up in a time to where, if you were out of line, you got, you got dealt with. But this is not what he's talking about, folks. There's a difference between what he's talking about and disciplining your children. Welcome to the show there, Pure Butterfly. How are you? Welcome to the show there.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. And welcome to the show there, Candy Cane Lane. How you doing? Welcome in. What's y'all ladies' thoughts so far?
My thoughts are, this is scary. This is the type of mentality that has been permeating from dysfunctional patriarchy, white patriarchy, for over, I'm going to say 1,000 years. So him saying that he needs to discipline a grown woman, and this is the thing, if you have a woman that is, and we'll talk biblically, if they're going the biblical direction, if she's a capable woman, Proverbs 31, and you discipline her, this is a woman who already knows how to move. She makes money outside of the household as well as takes care of the household. There's no need to discipline a woman like that. She's not a child. She's your equal. So I don't understand the thought process, but that thought process is very scary, because that type of thought process is the type of thought process that creates an environment of rape culture and, among other things, abuses of children. Even children shouldn't be disciplined in the way that we have been in the past as children ourselves, because you're not creating children that are multifaceted thinkers when you do that. When you put children under submission, abusive submission, you don't create an environment where those children themselves grow up to be leaders. You don't create an environment where they can assess things, break things down mentally, because they're always looking over their shoulder as to what type of actions they're holding and they're doing, instead of actually creating themselves as a human being and a future adult.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not for any of what he's saying. I don't dig anything that guy is saying. And I don't see anything that's positive from what he's saying.
Me either. Candy Cane Lane, welcome to the show. Your thoughts?
Hey, Pure. Hey, Mr. DJ. Well, first I want to say I think we have Mela in the back. I just want to give you a heads up on that.
Yeah, I got it. Hey, Mela, how are you? Mela, are you here?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Mela.
Make sure. One of the things that I noticed is that he's talking about like having to use your fists or use your hands to punish and blah blah blah. You know how many people think that they're leaders but really aren't? Like just on a day-to-day basis, when you go to work or you go to events, you go around other people where you see structure, you can always spot a poor or bad leader. Someone who has a position that they really don't know how to feel it out. Like a lot of times it'll be nepotism or the simple fact that this person was the longest standing around at a company. So they got by default kind of got pushed up the ladder versus
Gotcha.
trained.
Yes.
And so like I think a lot of times these people, and I say people because it could be men or women,
Hmm.
find themselves in leadership positions that they have not earned. They don't know the first thing about leading. They don't know the first thing about following. They just get up, they puff their chest up, and they think that they say words, and people are naturally going to fall in line like some sort of Pied Piper. And it doesn't work like that.
Absolutely does not. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Again, from my stint in the military, I've seen some folks who've been promoted up the ranks. They're not natural. They're not leaders, natural or man-made.
Right.
Case in point is Pete Hegseth. With all that's going on with him now, he should never be in that position. This man is not. He is not a leader. He's absolutely not. Hamp, you're not a leader. 2K, you're not a leader. And any man that agrees with this philosophy, you're not leaders. Leaders don't
And
agree. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go right
I
ahead.
would I would stand to ask anybody who feels like they are, because I feel like a lot of times people are put into leadership positions. They don't necessarily volunteer themselves for it. A lot of the people
Absolutely.
who make the best leaders are kind of forced by environment and situation into it because nobody else was willing to step up, if that
Nobody
makes sense, or nobody else was really qualified to step up. It's usually the people who make the best leaders didn't really choose the position, it chose them. So I will say, like, just listening to this guy speak, it doesn't sound like he knows what he's talking about. And then I would go so far as to ask him, like, list out what makes a competent, confident, capable leader. And I want to see how much of the qualities you can actually identify and how many of those qualities you actually possess yourself. Because I just don't see a need. I've met people, I've known people who were natural leaders, or not even natural. Maybe they owned in on those skills as they grew and developed and went through life. But either
Mm-hmm.
way, either you got it or you don't. You can't fake the funk with it. And if you have to
Right.
beat her into submission, you were never a leader to begin with.
Never. You're never. If you got it, that's it. That type of leadership is, instead of calling that leadership, you should call that conquest, because that's what you did. You conquered that person. You're not leading them anywhere, because I guarantee you, at first sight of that person being able to get away from you, that's a lot of issues. A lot of women try to run, but the man chases them down. Shows up at the mama's house. Show up at the auntie house. Show up at the friend house. We've seen the Tyler Perry movies. How many Tyler Perry movies have we seen where the women are in abusive relationships and the men comes and hunts them down? How many? Mella,
Yeah,
your
a lot,
thoughts?
a lot, a lot.
Mella, welcome to the show. Your thoughts on this?
There, if I'm
Mella?
being heard clearly, am
Mhm.
I?
Yes,
All right.
I can hear
Yes.
you.
Thank you so much. Kind greetings to everybody. Not just for the holiday season, but throughout your lifetime. I adore each and every one that I've ever exchanged pleasantries with and arguments with, because I think, right? I think. And that's the problem with someone that wants to execute so-called domestic discipline. They're not thinking, they're being impulsive. And that's a brute, for lack of a better term. I appreciate the previous comment about the difference between conquest versus influence, because when it comes to leadership capacity, you come to a fork in the road. You can influence or you can conquer. And those who conquer, they're responding by virtue of fear. And this is why a man will hit a woman. He's afraid. And women who hit their children, they're afraid of hearing, because a lot of times people hear something and they impulsively react physically. That's the whole deal. It's not where you didn't do something. It's where you said something oftentimes. And when we dial back, what's the origin of this domestic violence situation? What the forensic investigative conclusion is that individual said something. So what a lot of times a conqueror wants to do is overpower their, the fear of someone having influence on them, because it's their position in life to view themselves as the quote unquote authority. And when someone challenges that quote unquote authority, they stamp it out with physical aggression. And that's what I've observed a lot of times in the conclusion of domestic violence situations, where people just want to shut somebody up. They just want to shut somebody up. They want you to talk not only when you're spoken to, but you better say something out your mouth that's agreeable to them in accordance to their sense of having authority over you. A true leader is going to demonstrate through what is productively clear that they're the better option to lead. And it's about the better option. And a lot of abusive people, they don't care about the better option. They just care to hold their title in their
Ego.
perception.
Right,
Yeah,
well-
they cater. They want people to cater to their ego because it feeds their perception that they're the authority, when in fact they're just an impulsive jerk.
Well,
And
that's the thing, Melanie. I've correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's sometime you said you were in the military.
yes,
Okay, so during that time in the military, I was in the military as well. But we all both know that for those of you that were in it, there's some people that you see as soon as you know them, that even without their uniforms on, you know that person is a natural leader. You follow that person if you're in the foxhole or whatever. But this is not the type leadership these men are talking about. It's not that kind. We're not going to find that. Well, maybe the guy on the orange shirt, because I have heard some of this and some of the things that he says, but we're not going to find those leadership qualities that we find from men and women serving in the military. Because, as the old saying goes, lead, follow, or get the hell out the way. Most of these men, when push comes to shove, they're going to get the hell out of the way. Or in this case, like these 4 women on the panel, if they can't get their way, their answer to everything is through their fists.
Don't you think this is just Kevin Samuels' domestic discipline repackaged in 2025?
That's exactly what it is. That's
But
exactly what it is.
before Kevin Samuels, this talk has been around since 2010 on
Yes.
YouTube.
Yes. Kevin Samuels, it's been around, and Kevin Samuels made it permanent. He brought this crap to the black community. Not saying it wasn't out there, but no disrespect to any community. But all the research that I've done, looked at this so-called domestic discipline, the pictures, dare I say it, and I'm not being disrespectful because you can go see for yourself. This seems to be more of a white thing than it is a black thing.
I saw a video that my ex-husband sent me in 2009 or 2008, and it was on World Star Hip Hop, and it was a man who had a pregnant wife that was about 7 or 8 months at least pregnant, right? And they were in the shower, and he's videotaping, and he's doing that so-called domestic discipline on a pregnant woman, and he's spitting on her in the shower, and he's slapping her. And I just want to know what these men think that does to an unborn child, because he's feeling everything the mother's feeling. He or she, whichever gender the baby is feeling all of that emotion and that disrespect and all those things while the mother is carrying the child. What does he think is going to happen to the child when the child is born?
He's not thinking. And that's the problem. He's not thinking.
That's nail on the head there, Miller. He's not thinking. Again, to me, I don't think it's not a discipline thing. It's not a respect thing. It's more of a to me, be quite honest with you, they call it domestic discipline. I just think it's just another way for them to get their rocks off.
women as a whole want to be in loving relationships usually, right? There are a lot of women nowadays that have been abused severely as children, and because they don't even fathom seeing a loving, productive life with in a relationship with having children, so they are choosing not to have children. But for the majority of women who haven't gone through severe abuse like that, women are looking for nurturing, loving relationships to build with. And the reason why they're choosing not to is because of circumstances like this type of domestic violence and domestic abuse towards them and things like that. So if these men really want, and we're living in a very dysfunctional patriarchy, white patriarchy under Trump's administration, and I keep pulling it back to that because he is the viewpoint of what America is actually bubbling into right now, which is a convicted rapist, and abuse. Like, we see all the abuse they're doing, and they are pushing or trying to make a mirror of that image onto the American society, and then trying to force women to have children, but don't want to take care of the children when they get here. Because they were touching on the welfare, Mr. Music, when you were talking about how it's not a lot of money. How much do these men really calculate what it costs to raise a child? Because welfare doesn't even pay for toilet paper for these children.
That's why I pointed that out, because that's always one of their so-called starch talking points, that women, especially black women, put men out of the house so they could get welfare and all these different benefits. But maybe some of y'all folks haven't gone back to visit your children, or maybe you haven't gone back and said and looked at the financial welfare of your children to know that stamps, food stamps, SNAPs, and all these other things, Medicare, that's not a lot.
It's nothing.
It's nothing. It's nothing. It's $12 a day, $8 a day, $10 a day. Let me ask all y'all on the panel. You don't have to tell me, but take a guesstimate how much money you spent today just on some BS.
Oh, I've already spent like $30 or $40, and all I've done is buy.
It's the holiday season, so it's up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, just today alone. So just think, someone on AFDC, welfare, WIC, or whatever they want to call it. Do you think that they had that same $30 to go out and spend today?
No.
I honestly think the people that you're talking about, the men in question, don't care. It's not a matter of whether or not they know how much it costs to take care of a child. I think if you even sat them down, if you sat them down and broke down the numbers, I still don't think they would care. To be honest with you, because I've heard people actually say, I've actually heard men say, that child is your child, and whatever I do is extra. They don't care.
It's really awful to discover that women are not aware that men think. I shouldn't say all men, of course.
No.
What I'm emphasizing is there are men that literally are incapable, emphasis on incapable, of caring. Okay. And what's really sad is that a woman gives a man chance after chance after chance to demonstrate something that he's not capable of. What I fault above all else is lack of awareness. Okay. Because ultimately individuals make the choice of who they devote to pair bond with. And when you're not aware of viewing a disagreeable personality trait as something that's going to be ongoing, that's a lack of awareness. Please understand that old tribe of once somebody shows you who they are,
believe them.
That's who they are. There's no maybe if I do this on this way, or maybe enough. Forget maybe. That's who they are.
I get
or
what
if
you're
they
saying,
wouldn't
Miller.
have done it.
But I get what you're saying, Miller, and in a lot of cases that is true. But there are that's why I describe Hamp as a wolf in sheep's clothing. There are men out there and women out there that will deceive you into believing that they are genuinely good, that they're good people, that I'm the best thing for you, that I'm going to love you, I'm going to cherish you, I'm going to take care of you, I'm never going to put my hands on you. 6 months into the relationship, you getting beat down. There's no prediction in the future, but you're absolutely right. There are some red flags that are clearly put out there. That a lot of
Clearly,
people clearly.
it's not a foreign concept that human beings have goals in mind, right?
No.
So the goal is demonstrative. It's always demonstrative. Once somebody indicates that you belong to them and everything that comes with that shenanigans, they are disrespecting your autonomy. When you witness, experience, pick up, as they say in the young world, spidey senses, when you pick up that someone has no regard for your autonomy, that is not worth your while to experience. Someone has to respect your autonomy first and foremost.
Right.
If they, and we brought up Kevin Samuels, God rest his soul. I recall him saying specifically, "You women have to let us use you." He said that. You women, see, you all not getting the message. You women have to let us use you. I was like, did he just actually say that?
Well, Miller,
they all think like that, though.
And that's the nature of the domestic discipline narrative.
But that's
like, I'm gonna make you.
But that's what brought it back into. That's what brought it to the forefront here now of the preachings of the so-called Kevin Samuels. How long has this man been dead? But we still see his videos. We still hear people like BGS and Obsidian talking about this man was the greatest thing to the black community since sliced bread. But we know for a fact of how he died. We know this. We know he wasn't shit. We know that Kevin Samuels was not practicing what he preached.
You know what's crazy, Mr. DJ Music? I asked Big J about a month ago or so, about a month, and I said, you're fighting with the manosphere, but you're not actually. I just want to know who is the example for black men to follow and women, period, no matter what race, right? Who is the example that is a positive role model for people to look up to and aspire to be? We have nothing. We don't have anything in America right now. We are the laughing stock of the world right now. Okay. We have nobody. We have a decrepit, disgusting, narcissistic president, as an example. And his whole administration.
Okay,
But people voted him in, right?
That's my point.
I didn't vote for. I worked for the Kamala Harris campaign. I was trying to get Kamala Harris in.
Listen, I hate to say it. I understand where you're coming from, Pure, and I understand your passion with this. But yes, it's called buyer's remorse. Just like with what we're talking about, the Kevin Samuels, y'all knew what he was about. And the whole of America knew what Donald Trump was about, but they still put him in office. So
but what can we do now? He's there, so we need something.
Right. That's the only thing you can't. The only thing we can do now is try and combat, and reverse the shit that he's done or that he's going to do.
There are no refunds. That's all you can
do. There's no redos.
There are no refunds. Like people voted him in. This is what we're dealing with until he's
either dead or out of office, one or the other.
I'm gonna be honest. I would be happy with splitting the country and having the people that were non-voters of Trump.
His vice president is not an optimal choice either. So let's say
he's a closeted homosexual.
His vice president is still trash. So we have to deal with this term of an. We have to deal with this term.
Right.
I have a
Of an
question for everybody.
administration.
Go right ahead, Candy King.
So my question is this. One thing that I've been noticing as I've been moving around from space to space is I'm noticing a lot of the red pill, the manosphere, a lot of those niche channels have now rebranded. They've either changed names or changed what the channel focus is because it seems like it's no longer profitable to participate in the gender war, or that the gender war might be played out and they're trying to go a little bit more mainstream. It seems like the whole Kevin's going to take us mainstream died when he did. So my question to you all is, number one, have you noticed this? And number two, what do you think about this? Because to me, it doesn't make sense to really rebrand the
Yes,
channel name if the talking points are going to remain the same. If you're
My
yes.
still
my
going to be coming from that vantage point.
my
It's
feeling. You want to go first, Mela?
it's the attempt to build a better mousetrap. That's my feeling.
Point blank. Period.
All right. Pure. No.
My feeling is that it isn't going anywhere. They think they've got what they wanted. They push for Trump to get into office. The Black Manosphere did, and they got what they wanted. And they think that winter is coming for women. They're so happy that welfare is being cut off. They're super happy. They're staying low. But let me just say this: if women were, how do I want to put this? Black women are going to be the future leaders of America. Point blank. Period. Okay. And then once things are corrected, then balance will come back. And then once they get into office and things go well, then you will have divinity. So you may have another Black president that is going to, take America to another level. Okay. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. These manosphere hate women, and they hate Black women because they know that Black women are the woman of Genesis. Okay. They are that. And so because they are that, they're playing out the role of the serpent that gets crushed in the head, and they know what's coming. So why Black women get attacked in America all the time is because they are the future leaders of America for right now.
What
Very future.
what I would like to emphasize in conjunction with what you're saying is, as much as I would like to respect your sentiment, there is this determination in men that they would rather die than be ruled by a woman in this country.
Well, you have to. It depends on the men.
They're not cool with a woman because, see, the fear, in my humble opinion, the fear is that we have a lot of mouth, right? When I say mouth, I mean like we talk our smack, and the last thing they want is to be dominated with the continuous bombardment of a woman in full authority talking her smack. Like she's untouchable. She could just say stuff. She's all over the place. I'm feeling more diminished as a man every day.
But real women are nurturers.
Yeah, let me. I'll have to 100%
And so, men
disagree
are
with that.
just not in this country. Men are not actually equipped to be open-minded enough to accept that leadership.
I'll have to disagree with you. I'll have to disagree with you on that, Melody. There are some men that understand that
But
there's
it's
some
not
women
an accident that you interrupted me, right?
No, it's not an accident.
It's not an accident, right?
No, that wasn't an accident. No, it
It's
wasn't.
intentional. You know why, right?
Yeah, because I didn't think what you were saying was 100% correct. So I had
but
to.
as
I had to stand up.
as opposed to me ending my point, you interrupted me. And this is the conclusion I'm offering, that there are men that refuse to accept the autonomy of women.
True.
Thank
I'm
you.
not
And I
okay.
rest my
Wait,
case.
wait. I'm not disagreeing with that fact, but when the part that I'm disagreeing with you about is not all men think that way.
That's a fact.
Not all men think that women can't be great leaders. Not all men think that
Well,
women.
so DJ, what would it take for you to believe that a woman is a great leader? What's the criteria list?
Her actions.
Specifically,
There's no
itemize it.
you can't minimize what a leader does.
Itemize.
You
Can
can't
I
itemize
ask
it.
the ladies a question on here though, real quick?
Before we go into your question, Pure, can Mr. DJ answer the one I asked
Oh, go ahead.
about the rebranding? Because what do you think about
See,
the
what
rebrand,
DJ
Mr. DJ? I'm
Music
curious.
doesn't emphasize is the fact that he has been conditioned to view women a particular way.
No,
I don't think so, Mella. I don't think that's Mr. DJ.
Well, let's examine. I'm a veteran. He's a veteran. I'm saying this wholeheartedly with good intent. He is a man that has experienced life in a particular way. And I understand that in the event that he has female loved ones, that he wouldn't want to go through the struggle of men's aggression, that he's emphasizing on this channel how wrong it is to conduct, adverse behaviors. However, Mr. DJ Music,
I'm waiting to hear this.
I'm giving it to you, baby. I'm giving it to you.
I'm waiting to hear this. Go ahead.
I'm giving it to you.
Go ahead. I'm waiting to hear this.
I'm looking for what's the incentive versus the initiation of your entire existence as to why you care about what men are doing and to disparage women. Like, what's the initiative?
Okay, well, first, are you done? So I don't want to accuse. I want you to accuse me.
Yeah,
accuse me. Okay.
I'm done.
So first of all, let me answer Candy Kane's question. I'm sorry, but Candy, refresh my mind again. I got Mella.
It was just basically on the rebrand. I was asking you what you thought about the fact that so many of these red pill manosphere channels are rebranding and trying to seem more family friendly. And I've noticed that a lot of them are doing that, but it still seems like little versions of Fight Club all over the place.
Well, I think that has a lot to do with the algorithm. The algorithms are one by one picking them off. And they're telling them, okay, that the content that you said, we're not going to monetize this, so they have no choice but to change the way they speak and the way they change the way they do things in order to stay, in order to keep their channel thrived. But
ain't it funny? But ain't it funny that they didn't get any of those channels taken down until they felt that Trump was in office and everything, their agenda was in play, and then they start taking the channels down because they're the ones that propped them up.
Well, that was the goal of why those channels were in existence. So that pool of money, that pool of money is now dried up. So there's no more funding for that. There's no more. Let's have these manosphere driven channels to convince young black men, young white men that this is the way to be. So now these men are out. These channels are out there on their own. They're literally competing for your dollars again. But it's like moving into a new house and putting the same old furniture back in. And that's exactly what they're doing, Candy Cane. So is it more prevalent? I think it is, because now everybody can do a live stream. All it takes is a phone and an internet connection, and you can go live. So those that are see some of the success of the Angry Mans and the BGSers, a lot of them want to emulate that. That's why they're not going anywhere. If you take away Sharon Bracey's channel today, another one would pop up. If you took away DJ Hamp's channel today, another one would pop up, and it more than likely would be one of the men that's constantly on their panel. Mr. Fantastic. If he lost his channel, it would be someone that Mr. Fantastic knows, or in that circle that everybody would start migrating to, because they'll say, "Hey, I lost my channel. Y'all come on over to." That's how. What's his name? What's the guy's channel name?
Obsidian.
The big.
Sharon?
No, not the other kid. They're in beef with each other. What is his name? I can't think of his name. Drip.
Angry Man.
Drip. That's
Oh.
how Drip. That's how Drip channels became so popular. Other channels got lost at the same time. Folks was looking for a place to congregate, so they start coming over to Drip's channel. Not saying that the content he wasn't doing wasn't any good, but that's where that's how he was able to come up. So no, I don't think it's going to go anywhere, like Pure Butterfly said, until YouTube literally takes a stand and says enough is enough. Enough is enough.
YouTube's not going to take a stand, because they did exactly what the people in power wanted YouTube to do, for put these channels out there to take control of, because Black women had momentum in the United States, in power, and changing things for the better in America. And they did this on purpose. They targeted Black women because the Black manosphere is the ones that went the hardest, because you didn't really see the white men talking as much smack about white women. Now they are, but not then. It was always the Black channels, the Black manosphere, that was talking smack about Black women and trying to put Black women under control.
Why were they doing that?
Well, you always go after the thing that threatens you the most.
That part.
That's what they were doing it for. Now let me.
Because they're threatening.
Not because Black women are threatening, because Black women had the momentum in the United States from like 2008 all the way up to 2023, and they were pushing for the betterment not of just Black women, but all people.
I believe that.
Now, Mella, before you switch gears again, let's go back to
switch gears. Oh,
right, before you switch back again. Now, you asked me, why do I care, or what's my incentive? My incentive is just this. It's regardless of whether I have nieces or nephews. Right is right and wrong is wrong. That's just bottom line to it. What you see, this
That's
person.
That's a very good answer.
Wait, let me finish. What you see in front of you, I don't look for any pats on the back. If I was looking for congratulations, or I was looking for somebody to say, "Hey, what you doing this?" Don't you think I would have turned my camera on by now? Don't you think I would have said, "Hey, somebody hit the Cash App, hit the super chat, hit the link"?
Exactly, and I applaud you for emphasizing that you're not in it for profit. So that's not your incentive. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I understand that.
Right, and I don't need someone to point out what right is right and what's wrong is wrong.
I've had people offer me money, and I'm just like, I don't need your money. I'm here to do what I do. I'm just here to do what I do. It's not about money, and there are people, unfortunately, that will sell their soul, dare I say, to promote a message to put ass in seats in terms of viewership. And you don't do that. You are actually announcing what's from the heart.
Okay, so Mella, let me ask you a question, Mella. Who's more wrong? The person that sees wrong, and don't do anything about it, or the person that's doing wrong? Who's more wrong?
The person that sees wrong and don't say it. They don't.
So why would you ask me that question? What's my incentive?
Because there's only so much you can see.
I only need to see.
You have not advanced. Hold on. Right. You have this YouTube channel, sir. You have this YouTube channel, right? For you to, say what it is you have to say. You are not introducing influence in legislature. You're not. You're not doing that. So there's this gratification. Well, I'm guessing. I'm guessing. There's this gratification that you get from saying what you have to say as opposed to going out and doing the work to affect change. Like we can talk all day about what it is that's wrong, what it is that's right, but unless you're enacting the steps and what it look, I care about you. I care about you. It's just that I'm not gonna forget that there is a reason why you're going live about this topic. You're going live about
wait a
this
minute.
topic
Okay,
to bring
stop, please.
what?
Okay, the reason why I'm going live is just because I want to. I don't need no other more reason than that, because I want to.
You haven't.
No, please stop. Please, I haven't interrupted you, because see, if you've been around me long enough to know, you should know by now that this is something that I do not do. I do not go back and forth with women. No, with all due respect. With all due respect. I'll have dialogue. Wait. I'll have dialogue with you, but I will not have discourse, and that I won't have this with you. I don't do that. I never have. I never will, and I won't start today.
What I'm emphasizing.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. The stream is not about me.
All right.
It is not. The stream is not about me. The stream is about what's in front of us. You've never heard me pull up a stream to say, let's go do domestic violence to someone. You've never heard me pulling up a stream.
I believe in legislation. That's all I'm saying.
Stop, please. You never heard me pull up a stream saying, let's go talk shit about black women today. So in a lot of cases, some people will insult your integrity and don't realize it. So with all due respect, please don't ever insult. No. With all due respect, Mella, please do not insult me again by asking me what my incentive is, because I don't need incentive to do this.
Right is right.
Can I jump in here?
Certainly.
I don't think we necessarily need legislation for the anti-domestic violence thing, Mella. In most states, it's already illegal to hit your wife, to beat your wife. I think it's very, 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 very few states where it's still legal to hit your wife right now.
I see Mella's concern, though, because we had legislation for women's autonomy over their bodies when it comes to healthcare, medical, and abortion, and we don't have that anymore in a lot of states. So I can see them rolling back protection of women for domestic violence. I can see it.
Legislation matters.
Yeah, legislation does matter, but what law on the books will stop TUKAY from deciding he had a bad day, Mella, and coming home and saying, because of this domestic discipline thing I believe in, you didn't have my dinner cooked when I got home, so let me go ahead and backhand you one time.
Well, let me tell you, sir, what can actually be initiated is domestic violence avoidance courses in schools. Like for whatever reason, there's no curriculum for young people to be able to discern who's good for you and who's not good for you.
Sure it is.
Where's that curriculum?
There's all kind of courses out there. There's parents, there's books, there's studies, there's case studies, there's this and that lead people in the right direction, Mella. People choose to do wrong.
Legislation.
No. Okay, legislation. Why do you think people get locked up right now?
Legislation can introduce courses of this actually being aware.
Okay, but why do people?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
Why do people get locked up?
Because they don't abide by the laws.
Okay, so there are laws out there.
They make bad decisions. Yeah.
Okay, so a bad decision was going home because you were drunk or because you had a bad day at work, going and taking out your wife on physical abuse. There are laws on the books for that. So how many more laws we need to stop someone from going home beating their wives?
Let me explain something to you.
Mella, answer my question. How many laws would it take for a man to stop?
3.
And what would
3
be
laws.
what would be the number one law? What would be the number
3
one law?
laws.
What would be the number one law and the number one punishment, since you brought it up?
I didn't say anything about punishment. I said
Well,
laws.
that's what
You
laws are
asked
for.
first laws,
But
and then you want to transfer
Miller,
it to
no.
punishment.
Okay, that's
Right?
what laws. If you break the law, that means what? There was some consequences and repercussions behind you breaking the law.
You know what? I would prefer to answer your questions item by item. Is that all right?
Let's listen to some more of this video, because we've gotten
And
completely
there it
away from
is.
that.
Avoidance. There it is.
Just on here preaching.
So this part, it's on here preaching.
Hold on, cause y'all got it's on proof to this juice. You don't get Michael Jackson. You don't get Tina Turner if it ain't for them love taps to get it together.
See, that's the only thing I disagree with, and the reason why I say that.
But hold on. Let me just real quick, right? And I want to hear your disagreement. Tiff, the one thing though, that's
you hear how he
actually
said,
different with me.
I don't want to hear your
If
disagreement.
a man does say the wrong thing,
did you all
there
hear
will
that?
be a fist fight.
That's the nature of what I'm speaking of.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that literally don't want to hear disagreement.
Mm-hmm.
And that embodies the propensity of an impulse reaction, otherwise known as slapping you in the mouth.
Facts. You know what I see this as, Mr. DJ Music? I see this because I've been on YouTube since 2008, and I've seen this perpetual hamster wheel going since 2008, and I have seen no results from any of these men. You just get new characters that come and take the place of the old characters, but the talking points are the same and nothing is resolved. There is no legitimate movement. It's a perpetual hamster wheel with these guys.
They don't want to hear disagreement.
That's why
Let's
I
back it
asked.
up. Let's go ahead. Let's back this up just a little bit and see exactly, because there was some contention to what he said. But go ahead, Candy Cane, before I push the button again.
That's why I think the first stream that I did on my channel was basically like the gender war is dead. Let's end it, because it, like Pierre said, it is a hamster wheel. It's not. There's no end to it. There's no resolve. It's just men ain't shit, women ain't shit. I hate you, you hate me. Congratulations. And how long are we going to exist in that sort of an environment? How long are we going to keep circulating and having these same talks and discussions over and over of what makes an ain't shit person? You choose wrong. No, you choose wrong. And it's just like, y'all not tired? I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
I'm tired too.
Yeah, I think as long as there's some monetary gain behind it, it'll always be here.
Absolutely.
So why don't we incentivize? Incentivize better behavior, better communication, and incentivize that? Why are we not doing that? Why are we going in the perpetual gutter?
It's the nature of human beings to be defensive, which embodies, dare I say, negativity. It's like human beings are more attracted to negativity, the awareness of negativity in the interest of fueling their sense of defense, because that's what promotes survival. It's a basic human thing to want to survive. And what accentuates your interest of survival? To be aware of what's coming at you. So if I'm aware of negativity, that's going to, that's going to benefit me more than being aware of what's positive, if that makes any sense. It's unfortunate, but it's
I think America knows what's negative is not good for them, but nobody's really seeing anything that's moving in a positive direction, positive messages and positive reinforcement for things concerning channels like this, monetization, a better forum build. That's why I said to Big J, who would be the right example for people to follow. And I got nothing.
And that's how
I got
Obama
nobody
won.
saying that.
That's how Obama won, because he emphasized the term hope, right? Hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have an answer
and
either.
that was genius, in my humble opinion, because it's, as I've mentioned, it's human nature to focus on the negative, but then you introduce what it is one is hoping for, right? You're hoping for your own family, your own interests, your own, those are your initiatives. It's like my own. I hope for my own. But here it is, this man coming through talking about we can hope for everybody. And that's how he won, because he projected the possibility that we can hope
I still like
for
Obama.
everybody.
Okay, folks,
And as it turns out, that goes against human nature in the terms of defending what it takes to extend our existence.
But again, let's get back to the video. Let me shout out some folks down here. Hey, HT Baldwin and Angelica, good to see you both. Welcome. Let's play some more of this video here.
I disagree with, and the reason why I say that.
But hold on. Let me just real quick, right? And I want to hear your disagreement. Tiff, the one thing though.
Yeah, he said I wanted. Yes,
actually different with men.
He said I want to hear your disagreement. He said I didn't want to hear. He said I want to hear your disagreement.
Oh, okay.
If a man does say the wrong thing, there will be a fist fight. So that part is one of the potential outcomes from men disagreeing vehemently. Mm-hmm. Like we've even seen it, right? We had boxing matches that we literally set up because men disagreed verbally. And then they punched each other several times and
got knocked the fuck out.
Fell out. I want to get Alan in, and then August, I want you to voice what you're going to say. I just want to make sure I get Alan in. He's been chilling. Go ahead, Alan.
Man, I don't know how to follow that up.
They're real.
I mean, first of all, stating the obvious, I don't think physical punishment is the right way to go about things. But I would encourage us to kind of take a step back and see past the hyperbole and really understand his point. Unfortunately, kind of like I talked about earlier, the things that are necessary for progress, for maintenance, are not always pretty. And one of my favorite sayings is history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And when you look at communities like the Hasidic Jewish community.
Let me stop you right there.
They have...
the actual saying is, young brother, is you're doomed to fail if you don't allow history to repeat itself. If you don't know your history, you're doomed to fail. You got to know where you came from. Yeah. You got to know exactly. This is one thing I don't understand about a lot of these so-called teachings. They will tell you folks to forget the past, like it does not make a difference.
What it does understand is what makes somebody wants to hurt someone. What mechanism is occurring in an individual that makes them want to hurt someone?
I don't. How would you expect me to answer that? How would I know that?
No, it's not just for you.
Hurt people. There's a saying.
Yeah, but okay, going way back into when people started hurting people, what made that individual?
You have to ask the cavemen that, because they were the ones that we can go all the way back to Cain. We can go back to Cain. You got to go back to Cain and Abel.
Okay, there's all types of explorations to discover as to why somebody wants to hurt somebody.
Well,
I'm just asking it out loud.
Okay, this not all right. Let's play some more of the video. Maybe one of these guys can answer that for us, but I don't think they're going to answer that question.
Strict rules about female conduct and male conduct. As a matter of fact, during celebrations, men and women can't be in the same room. When you look at the Nation of Islam, they have strict rules. When you look at every empire that was able to sustain itself, it had strict rules. When you now look at empires that have crumbled, like Japan is they're probably going to go extinct in the next coming decades. And it coincided with women entering the workforce.
I got to disagree with that statement.
And this is what I ask of us as Black folks, if we're able to put.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly disagree with that statement.
Has he
But
been to
again,
Japan? Has he watched Japan has their shit on point. It's one of the
I,
cleanest countries. It's one of the most disciplined countries. It's a destination hub now for people all around the world. I don't know what he's talking about when he talks about Japan. He's wrong.
I've been to Japan a couple of times, and if you ever talk about a people that's steeped in culture and their beliefs, it's Japanese people. That is for sure. That is absolutely for sure. So I don't think their culture, maybe their birth rate or whatever, but you have to look at it. They just not too long ago they got the atom bomb dropped on them. There's going to be some reverse effects to that. There's going to be some people that lose their life to what? Disease, radiation poisoning, all kinds of things. So for you to generalize a country just based on what you think is over there, especially if you've never been there, brother, it's kind of ludicrous. Again, this is the idea of what I'm talking about. You folks on these panels, y'all come up here spouting this information like you know. And it's easy to debunk what you just said. All it takes is a few keystrokes on your keyboard.
I put in the back chat something that was generated to explain why people hurt people. And
There's what explanation? Okay, I'm going to entertain this for a second, Miller, because you seem to want to talk about it. So give me an explanation to why you think people want to hurt people.
All right, as it's explained, people hurt others for various reasons, including
money, jealousy, sex, love, rock and roll.
As I was saying, people hurt others for various reasons, including pleasure, gaining power, and achieving a sense of moral righteousness. Other factors include emotional responses like anger and fear, psychological issues like low self-esteem or trauma, and environmental influences such as a history of violence or exposure to media depicting violence. The reasons can be complex and stem from a combination. It's like, this is the thing, right? This particular explanation that I sought out, it identifies low self-esteem. It identifies low self-esteem. I believe this is why someone would want to hurt others. When somebody wants to hurt you, they are experiencing low self-esteem in the constitution of their being. That's all I want to say. And thank you for letting me say it.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think if you go back in some time into some of the streams, and probably this stream that I did today, you will hear me mention the word self-esteem at being at an all-time low for some of these men. Okay, that's part of the reason some men have low self-esteem about them. Some men believe that the only way to control their woman is to hit them. But that's what the topic is about today. It's not why the reasons why men want to hurt women, or why women want to hurt men, or what causes another person to hurt someone. The bottom line to this is just this: these guys up here saying that domestic discipline is the way to go in order for you to get control of your particular girlfriend or spouse.
Big fish, bigger fish. Would they like for them to be domestically disciplined by authorities? Because that's basically what they're if they're aligning with this type of philosophy, then they also can be disciplined.
And that's
but
the
they
thing.
don't want that, Pure. They don't want that.
Pure,
did I hear him correctly? Did he make a correlation between women going into the workforce and the decline of Japan? Is that what I heard before you ended it?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, he was reaching hard. He was reaching.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Well, because they have no connection. These men have no connection. I'm talking about white men, black men, Asian men, whatever, that are in this country. They don't. That's why they're not leaders. They cannot be leaders because they can't connect the dots. Women clean hotel rooms. They do. Men are not the ones cleaning the hotel rooms, right? It's women. The mass majority of women in the workforce are doing these menial jobs that keep everything pristine.
Yeah, I've never thought about that. The housekeepers were always women.
Majority.
Yeah,
So you're telling these women not to do these type of jobs that men are not doing, and they're basically contributing to the wholeness of the country. So you're saying that they shouldn't be doing that?
The men are the concierge. But the women are the domestic.
Okay,
workers.
since speaking of domestics, I'm sure y'all can see this on the screen right here. The key principles of domestic discipline, since these guys want to bring it up: mutual consent, respect, and trust. Have y'all heard any of that spoken so far in this video?
No.
Mutual consent, respect, and trust. So they're not. So these guys. My point of this video is these guys are not under the guise of domestic discipline. It's something that what they're explaining to you ladies that are on this panel and anyone else that's listening to this. They're trying to create a reason for them to say it's all right for them to beat your ass.
So I have a question then, because this doesn't specify gender here.
It does not.
Then if we're up for domestic discipline, does that mean that your wife gets to decide when she wants to discipline you back, your partner?
That's the point. That's what I was going to say. As I was looking this up, the pictures that accompanied the articles, it was usually the woman holding the what do you call that? The riding crop, or it was the white woman that was doing the correction and instruction.
So they don't even know they on some kink stuff. Like this ain't even. Okay.
Right.
Got it.
Right. Again, the number one thing right there that says the key principles of domestic discipline is mutual consent. Both partners must explicitly, they don't put these words in here for no reason, folks, explicitly agree to the terms of the domestic discipline. Since these folks over the manosphere like to always quote movies and talk about movies, I know y'all horny niggas done seen 50 Shades of Grey before.
If she doesn't leave, that is interpreted as consent. Like, you're not leaving.
I got questions. I got more questions for these people.
Situation that interprets consent.
Do these men are their wives working in the workforce while they're sitting here talking this shit? Because I don't see any of the men on the panel. I'm almost positive they're not the sole providers for their family.
In this economy, men depend on their wives to work.
Here's my thing. My 2 cents on that, Pure. Most likely, I would guess most of the people who are advocating for this are not partnered or are not in a relationship. Most of the time, you hear people who advocate for things like this, they're single men who don't even have one.
Right.
Case in point, Kevin Samuels died on top of a hooker, but
okay.
Yeah.
Let's continue here, ladies.
Put emotion aside and really see the ones and zeros of the algorithm necessary for progress. We have to, on some level, establish a curriculum for male conduct that has checks and balances and expectations, and female conduct that has checks and balances and expectations. I think what's happening, unfortunately, and Slim brought this up with her sons, and even me with my little brother, more than just like our women are out of line, I think this coming generation of boys are simply uninspired by our women's posture. And that's concerning, right? Like when you think about the types of women and the types of men that are necessary to build and establish civilization, there's a disposition that's necessary. There's
okay, young brother. You seem to you almost had me. You almost had me thinking that, he might be onto something. But so let me go ahead and take you back. You are the generation that created what you see in front of you. The tip drill, the video vixen. You niggas created that.
Yep.
Now you're mad about it because you can't control it anymore. You put these women out there saying, this is what we want to see in our videos. This is what we want to advertise. This is what we want to talk about. Big booty women with big titties bouncing around in our videos. Now these women are saying, you know what? I don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
I got OnlyFans. I got a TikTok. I don't need you to be a video vixen anymore. And that seems to me that's what y'all mad at.
Mela came in with the perfect observation, and that's self-autonomy. A woman who has self-autonomy needs no regulation. She is her own regulator.
True. Hey there, Melanated Vessel. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And want to welcome Angelica. How you doing? Welcome to the show. How are you? Your thoughts so far?
Hey,
Jelly,
can you
jelly,
hear me all right?
jelly. Hey.
Hello.
Hello? Can y'all hear me?
Go. Yes, we can hear you. Go right ahead.
Oh, hey, what's up, Mr. Music? How you doing?
Doing
Ladies
great,
on
doing
the
great.
panel, how are we?
Great.
I don't
Go
know
right
if I'm...
ahead. Yeah, I can
I
hear
was... Okay, so... don't y'all get tired of listening to single ass motherfuckers talk about the plight of global society because the women's and the men?
Yes.
Because I do. I get sick of it. You know what I'm saying? Like it and that's the wonderful, what I hear is men complaining about choice, right? But then tell women that they have all the power to choose, right? You can't have it both ways. Like, you want to be able to pick and choose what the fuck is going on with society, but then you also want to tell women that they can't have a choice. Your body, my choice. Then, bitch, get down and have a baby because duty to the fucking economy and global society and all this bullshit. And that's the wonderful thing about choice. And the reality is that these men, if they had it their way, they would still be fucking upset. Because most of these men wouldn't be chosen. They wouldn't be chosen. You wouldn't be the fucking husband. You wouldn't be the provider. You wouldn't be bringing home the fucking bacon because there'd be nobody the fuck there.
Right.
Because the probability of taking a risk on you and I have no options and I have to depend entirely on you is that, I don't know if the juice is worth the fucking squeeze. So why would I in the first place? And I get sick of people just getting on the fucking internet complaining about how optionless they are, because this is all that I hear. I'm optionless. And why doesn't society conform to what the fuck I want so I can start having fucking options? That is nobody else's problem but yours. You're upset with Japan. You're upset with fucking Korea. You're upset with this country. Upset with that fucking continent. So fucking what? Oh, well. Get outside, touch some grass, stop being a fucking piece of shit, stop being a fucking chronically online individual that's always complaining about what a bitch ain't doing or what the men aren't doing, and be the fucking change that you want to see.
That part.
Snap, 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 snap.
Okay. I listen.
I get Mr. Music. I get sick of this shit.
I say it all the time. I'm wondering how much more, because again, my things, Angelica, because I've always said this to you ladies, is you ladies can have your own panels where y'all can be discussing your own issues, but a lot of times you see women up on these panels having to defend this shit, and so it's a constant rebranding, as someone said earlier, of the gender wars. There is no real gender war. It's only this make-believe thing that you guys do on the internet, because there is no way that you honestly can tell me that you would walk up to a strange woman and say, hey.
But you know what though, Mr. DJ? They have an obligation to respect themselves and stay off panels where their opinion and their thought process is not respected, and they have an obligation to respect themselves and stay off those panels.
Agreed.
But you know what I noticed? A lot of women will hit men's panels before they ever hit another woman's panel.
Very true. Very true.
True.
Also, I see it all the time.
Well,
They'll
y'all
come.
know
They'll
why
come.
that is, though.
I got to keep using the Brownsville thing. They're lovers of men because I see it all the time. They'll super chat a man so quick. Hey,
Conditioning.
right. What's his name? Angry Man will curse his subscribers out, and right after he finished cursing them out, you know what they do? Sorry, man. I meant to send you this earlier. Here go $5. Here go $10. Here go $20.
I mean, listen, if men want to support the male suffrage movement of other men, then I say more power to them. It ain't got a fuck thing to do with me. It ain't got a fuck thing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to make sure the homie got his lights, his kids is fed, like, if that's your sense of community and all this other fuck shit, then by all fucking means.
Right, by all means.
You know, all that I'm saying is that just because you say a thing doesn't make it the fuck real. It doesn't make it the fuck real. So homeboy talking about, you know, because women had fucking options, society was fucking cooked. Nigga, did you ever read any bit of history when you was in class?
Not a drop.
It was men. Who fucking killed Caesar? Fucking Brutus and the boys.
Okay.
It wasn't no bitches.
Okay.
I just want to go on record and say, if you ever waited on winter to come or needed like some sort of disaster to hit for women to finally look up to you as a leader, you don't deserve pussy.
It's gonna stay a balmy 72 degrees, ain't it?
Winter Egypt comes and then some black man dies. That's what happens. Winter comes and then some black man that has a camera and a microphone fucking dies. And then they just get mad all over again and say winter will be here for these bitches next year. I mean, it's just a fucking cycle.
All right. Listen, this is, again, if that answers your question, I hate to go back, Mella, to point out something, but when something gets stuck in my craw, when people ask me why I do this, because I can guarantee you this. If these ladies that's up here speaking right now would have been on anybody else's panel, they would have been called everything except a child of God.
Oh, I have already. Since I've been here, I've been called everything you can possibly think of.
Okay. That's what I mean. There's a difference between having dialogue with women and just straight up what these guys are doing.
If they were in Egypt, they would be eunuchs because the society in Egypt, if you were not men that were deemed righteous enough to have children, all other men were castrated and they were eunuchs.
History of the World Part 1, one of my favorite movies. He is a eunuch. Let's continue with this.
They better hope that type of patriarchy don't hit, because if they are, a lot of them are going to be in trouble.
Right, absolutely. Again, let me say hello to some folks there. Hey, HT Ball 1, Melanated Vessel. Let's see, Char Willie, Angelica. Who else in here? We got down the listing lounge. I got a Candy Cane laying up on the panel with me. Miss J, how you doing? Thank you. The Puerto Rican Princess. I got to scroll up here a little bit. If I'm missing anyone, folks, my bad. I like to. That's another thing I don't understand when I hear these folks say, "Don't pay attention to the chat room. Don't pay attention to the listening." Would you?
Well, that's how you build your platform.
Idiots. That's like going to a Broadway play and sitting up there and not having no audience. That's ludicrous. That is ludicrous. Don't pay no attention to what's going on in the chat. So that's telling the folks in the chat room, you're not paying attention to me. All you worried is about is how much money I can send you. But let's continue on with this here, folks.
The disposition of a mother who raises a warrior. There's a disposition of a mother who raises a simp. There's a disposition of a mother who raises a loser, right? And if we're going to deify women as the goddesses that they are, that comes with a great deal of responsibility. And some of what is necessary, some of what we need from you, and I think TUKAY kind of said it less than eloquent, but there is a deference that's necessary to speak to the king in men, to empower men to go out into the world as a warrior. What's happening currently is a lot of our...
I wanted to comment on that too.
I know you.
Yeah, I was holding my tongue. I was holding it.
I know we wasn't gonna get far. Y'all go ahead. I'm gonna
No,
go
I
on mute.
just want to say real quick that I don't give a fuck about what you need. I do not fucking care. I
Can I
mean,
can
like,
I state?
why is it that bitches always gotta speak fucking power into these niggas? I don't fucking know you. The fuck going on here? We ain't fucking. You ain't paying none of my bills. You not bringing me no groceries, but you need me to breathe life into you because I see you because I gotta fucking hear you. Are you okay, sir? What the fuck psychosis is this that women need to assist men in men building up themselves when he just said that the burden is on women since we're the fucking goddesses and shit to be held to a higher fucking standard. Bitch,
It don't make
if
sense.
I'm running the fucking world and you're not fucking conforming, that's your fault,
Higher
not
standard, but you want to
mine.
beat her down? That makes no sense to me.
Not
And
mine.
if you're a woman building or creating warriors, that means the woman, your mother is a warrior. It means any qualities that you think you can get from her, she's already got.
Why didn't he mention the fathers though? Why was that strictly on the mothers? I missed the context of how we got to,
Because he
because
said
I hear a lot in these spaces.
the women's breed, they have a special disposition to breed the warriors and the simps and shit. So all the crux of society and the outcomes of society rest solely on women. And because of that, women have to speak fucking king fucking behavior
But
into
where are the
this.
dads? Where are the
You guys,
fathers though?
But ladies, and I'll ask you this. According to this title, isn't what this young man is saying, isn't that in direct contrast of what they're talking about?
yeah. But that's why I'm telling you that for leadership in America, and I'm just speaking for America, it's going to take Black women to change America because you already see the talking points right here. It is up to Black women to create a new America, point blank, period. Because these men are already letting you know what it
They
is.
complaining. They already fucking left behind. These are the fucking maidenless or fucking bored ass fucking house husbands that get on here and complain about life and then tell all of us that we're the fucking problem. Bitch, no, it's you.
Mm-hmm. Because the men I
have
consider,
gotten up and left.
Yeah, the women
have gotten up and left.
Point blank, men who are divine or divine from the universe, what I consider divine, they're paired up. They've found their mates. They're having children. They're having families. They've done that. So these men that are speaking right now that can't find that mate to do the bonding with and do those things they claim they want, it's because there's some inadequacy and dysfunction in them that they cannot.
But
because divine men have already found their women.
Problem. But that's the thing. They get on these platforms and spew all this fuckery as if it's everybody else's problem. Mm-hmm. Men created the system which these men cannot fucking follow. Mm-hmm. It is not my fault. It's not the collective of women's fault that y'all motherfuckers can't get the shit together. But getting on the internet saying that, oh, well, the girls and, they're supposed to be raising these righteous men and all this other fuck shit. Bitch, where the fuck are you in all of this?
Point blank.
Especially because
with your community.
One of the main talking points that a lot of these men will say, as I've been hearing for a very long time, is that women can't raise men, which is why the community is failing. So then how do we get on the point that women are raising warriors and they're putting all of this and breathe life into him? You're saying this on one hand, and then on the other hand, you're saying women need domestic discipline. You're beating your warrior mother.
Again, ladies, all you have to do is let these folks talk, and you'll see. That's why I said earlier, DJ Hamp, you might disagree with me, and some folks that follow you might disagree.
I'm back. Sorry.
But you're not a very smart individual.
No,
you're not.
Because things are dysfunctional are why women in general are going into positions of power, like being a police officer, a sergeant, a firefighter, you name it. That's why women are going into those fields, because they see that there is a disconnect with the men that are in those power positions, and those men are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They see a whole lot of deception and lies and things like that, and so women are taking those roles and doing those things for those reasons.
Okay, I just came back. Pure butterfly spirit. What are men supposed to be doing?
What are they supposed to be doing? Well, I think my personal opinion is, if you're a man who is very secure in your manhood and you have like serious qualities, you have what it takes to take care of family and take care of all these, you're not intimidated by a strong woman. You're not intimidated. You're not going to be intimidated by women in power. You don't need to. And you're okay with women being in power because you're right behind her, backing her up. And that's how I see it.
All right. That's not the traditional stance.
Well, the traditional stance has got America into trouble. So point blank.
That's what I'm emphasizing, if I can get to it. Unfortunately, or fortunately, men have been conditioned to the assured position that women are going to, quote unquote, cooperate with their authority. And this has changed because, as you stated, women are, they're choosing occupations that, dare I say, empower them, and they
not just themselves, but the community.
Yeah,
women are more thoughtful for the community.
Exactly, and in that interest, what men are confronting is that there's no longer this traditional understanding that just because they're men, they are in authority. And men are having a problem with that. It's like, wait a minute. I've been raised to believe that just because I'm a man,
if you don't
I have authority.
Shit.
And
if
now,
you don't have shit to offer a woman, if you don't have the resources, the fucking home, the job security, whatever the fuck, to even require that from your partner, then all of this shit is for naught. All of those arguments and complaints are for but this is the problem with men that function within the paradigm of patriarchy, is that they handicap themselves.
Yeah,
it's not women.
Exactly.
They handicap themselves with that delusion that because I am him, because I woke up with a penis today, therefore I am entitled to these things. In reality every fucking times makes these goofy ass niggas have a seat.
Could you imagine if women led with their vaginas all over the place and were doing what men do because they think that they have a penis and some twigs and berries, let me just say that, and they're running with that, they're moving in that position instead of any kind of mental leadership, any kind of education or anything like that? And what if women were doing that?
To be diplomatic, both genders have a case of the supposed tos, and that's where we're stuck at. And when I'm including myself, but I'm not including myself because I'm more aware of what's really happening. Not to say that anybody else isn't. What I'm emphasizing is that it would appear that non-thinking people are suffering from a case of the supposed tos that keeps them stuck on stupid. In the event that you're not stupid, you can see what's in front of you. What's in front of you is there's no longer this designation of who is empowered over whom. What is actually happening is the contribution to build something together. And if you don't want to face that because you're under this supposed to system, then you're going to fall by the wayside and be overpowered.
That's also part of the delusion. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Music.
That's part of the delusion. The supposed tos. Yeah.
Let me make a comment on this. A lot of people the effect of religion is definitely undermines women's worth. Absolutely, I think that's one of the major contributors to the women, the so-called we gonna keep women's autonomy as part of the patriarchy. It's religion, the so-called man-made religion. You know, if we look out through the history of the so-called Catholic, anything that has this so-called man in it, it's always to
The
keep
propaganda. You're my wife, and you're supposed to do this. You're my
That's why
wife.
it's all
You're
it's
supposed
dogmatic.
to
It's
do
not
that.
spiritual.
It's propaganda.
Listen, I mean, even if that be like one of the variables, we are living in a time in history right now where we're witnessing the biggest transfer of wealth from the working class to the fucking elites. And
I
these
mean, it's
niggas
happened
is
in
still
history.
worried. These niggas is still worried about a woman's pussy mileage instead of worrying about the things that would put them in a position to be attractive or to be, dateable on the market of sexual marketplace or whatever the fuck you call it.
I eavesdrop on late night conversations amongst men, and they are talking about women. They're not talking about investing in stocks. They're not talking about what's the best way to raise their children. They're talking about women and how they can conquer them and why they're not able to conquer them.
But that,
So
for me,
on and so
that's
forth.
just
It's pathetic. It's pitiful. It's like,
that's
please
just weak
concentrate on
men's
something
rhetoric,
other
though.
than conquering women.
When I hear that, what I recognize is weak men's rhetoric, right?
Exactly.
A weak man will try to convince you, coerce you, and if he can't do those two things, put into law rules to make you acquiesce to his desires. While a motherfucker that has means and who isn't a piece of shit has no problem with the bitches.
No.
Has none. Has no fucking problem.
Nope.
Yeah.
And like I don't like I'm just looking at it on terms of reality. When I go the fuck outside, I go to the cookouts, when I go wherever it is the fuck that I go, all I see is motherfuckers coupled up. It's only when I get on the fucking internet that I see these goofy ass motherfuckers talking about, oh, the fucking women's and shit. And what I recognize is that the things that they complain about are the things that people that I think just like the average sane person that isn't like loose at the seams doesn't have. But then they get on these platforms and want to convince the audience, people like us, that they're not the fucking problem. And the reality is, this is a dog eat dog world. If you can't fucking hack it, that is nobody else's problems but you. You can't go and start hollering, oh, I need the women to fucking breathe life into me and shit. Like, me breathing life in you does not help you get a fucking job. Me breathing life into you does not put food on the fucking table. Will it give you motivation? Maybe, if you have some sort of like grit to your fucking personality, but it doesn't do any more than what the fuck. I mean, it's just fucking symbolic. And what does symbolism mean in a capitalistic world?
It is symbolic. It is.
I saw a video today that there was a projection of 40,000. Was it 40,000 new jobs in America for November? But instead of 40,000 new jobs coming to America or in America, we have dropped 33,000 jobs in America, where 33,000 jobs used to exist, and now people are unemployed. So when you talk about doggy dog, we are in the doggy dog world right now. So even if you felt like you were a man who could maybe minimally support your wife, you're not going to be able to unless you create your own businesses, and your businesses and in America right now can thrive.
Right. And let me touch on that just a second. You hear all these men celebrating the fact that the federal government gutted, all these jobs. And we all know that the majority of the jobs that were lost by Black women. So these same men that are up here congratulating are the same men that were benefiting off these women. these government GS11 jobs, these GS5 jobs, career women that's been in the government at whatever capacity, for some reason or the other, this administration, and I'm using that term loosely, decided to go through and gut it out. So now,
well, they gutted it for Project 2025. This was in Project 2025, and that is to get rid of all the jobs or to fire Black women in power in America.
And then replace this with the very thing that they say, DEI.
Hegseth type men.
Yes, exactly. He was about to come up my mouth, but you beat me to it. But let's listen to a little bit more of this. There, we're going to wind down here in about another 15, 20 minutes or so.
Men and boys are getting beat up before they even enter the world. They're not being empowered. They're not being like I could even observe how white mothers treat their young sons like they're almost their second husband. Like they defer to their sons. And Black mothers, even if your son is 40 years old, they're still that he's just a boy. And we can talk about the context of like not wanting your sons to be taken away.
Go right ahead. Y'all go ahead. Y'all.
I'm gonna tell you because I've observed a lot of white women.
The soap. I gotta buy the soap, the drawers you put on your ass, and the shoes that you wear to impress your fucking friends, and you want me to fucking defer to you? Are you stupid? This nigga's dumb. This nigga is dumb. If I gotta buy the fucking Irish Spring that you use to wash your musty ass, you want me to like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
Brute by Fabergé.
What the fuck are we talking about? Like, is there some did his mom do something to him? And I'm not trying to be mean, but did his mom do something to him? Point on the fucking doll where that person hurt you. Because I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. If you were hurt, go to fucking therapy. That's what the rest of us normal people do, right?
Point blank.
We go to fucking therapy, we cry, and we fucking snot to our therapist.
Okay,
and then we call our friend and say that we had a good session, and we leave it at that.
My name is Mella. It's nice to meet you. I want to ask you a question, if I am so allowed. Do you believe that when a man cries in front of you, that he's weak?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. I just wanted to understand whether or not we agree. There are men that complain that they are not, quote unquote, allowed to be vulnerable with the woman that they're pair bonding with. And that provokes them to to present themselves in an aggressive manner.
If men don't have any emotions and they don't cry over things that really hurt them,
how can you bond?
They're a narcissist. You don't want them in the first place.
Right? How can you pair bond with anyone? Those two things they don't live in the same neighborhood. They can't exist in the same room. It's absolutely impossible for what you just said to be. But this is what you hear, though, Mel. And these are the things this is why I like having women on the panel sometimes, because y'all hear and see things from a completely different mindset than I would. Yeah, I might have completely skipped over that.
Yeah, there are men. Rather, I should say, in the recent live stream I've observed and participated in, that question was asked, whether or not I believe it's quote unquote cool for a man to cry with his woman.
Well, who else you gonna cry for?
Exactly.
Who else you're gonna open up to? Who else you're gonna share your weaknesses, your insecurities, and all that? Of course,
it's on the panel with other women.
Right, I understand the question.
Yeah, that just like how this participant now emphasized go to therapy. And that was the response on the women on the panel. It's like, he need to go to therapy for that. I don't want him crying in front of me showing his quote unquote weaknesses.
But ask all these men how many of them actually have gone to therapy, and you're going to hear zero.
And it's Well, the point. I agree with what Angelica said. Yes, some of them should go to therapy, but they confuse being on a live stream with therapy. They are bonding. They
A
are
lot of people are
parabonding.
using laughter as
They're,
therapy. Yes.
they are bonding. They are
They
parabonding.
are.
They're bonding with people that's
And
just
that's
like
why I
them.
love them so much. They're exposing their vulnerabilities, and it touches my
To other
spirit.
to other men. So I got to keep going back to what Brownsville and Sharon said. They are lovers of men because how could you say as a man you feel empowered to be vulnerable to another man, but you don't feel empowered to be vulnerable to the woman that you sleeping with or the woman that bears your children?
Can I say
How does
something
that
to
make
that
sense?
man's statement though, when he said that white women put their sons on pedestals? In a way they do, and the only reason why they do is because it's a patriarchal system, and that they know that their sons are most likely going to be in power. But what they don't do and what they don't talk about is white women giving their sons emotional stability and being able to nurture them in a proper way so that they can grow up. And I'm not saying all, because I'm just not. But
I like
there's a reason. There's a reason why white men shoot up schools. There's a reason why they have more violent episodes. So just think about that. So while this man on this panel is telling you to refer back to white women, are we going to start seeing if black women do what white women do? Black men going into schools, shooting up schools, and doing all the stuff that white men have been doing?
We have to examine whether or not this guy that spoke what we've heard has a fetish. There are people that have a fetish, like he desires something he's never experienced.
No. Let's not go down that road. This is not about this is about someone absolutely speaking that think he knows what he's talking about. This is not.
Well, he don't.
He's fantasizing what it
is
would
someone.
be like to be raised by a white woman. That's what he's doing.
Well, he may be thinking that, but from what I'm hearing from him, because he speaks well, because he seems to be articulate, people will listen to him. And this is one of the things that I said: charisma in the wrong hands is one of the most dangerous weapons that any man could have.
So that's all I wanted to say is bring it back to white serial killers, because white men have the highest number of serial killers. Okay, why is that?
Well, a lot
if the white mothers are doing all the right things, why is that?
The serial killer aspect, a lot of them, if I dare say so, the history depicts that they were on pharmaceuticals.
No.
They weren't just going out killing people.
No.
They were on drugs.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No. I 100. The first, when this first started happening, what became prominent in the United States of America was with Dylan Klebold and the Columbine copycats. They were not on any. They weren't on any medications because they keep describing these young thugs, these young hooligans, as good kids that they don't know where they went wrong. Dylan Ruth was described as a good kid. He didn't know where he went wrong. Was the guy that shot up the top, that killed the 10 people at the Tops market? They described him as a good kid. But as soon as it's a black,
they weren't on Ritalin and smoked weed and drank alcohol, right?
Can I give my opinion about it?
Certainly.
My opinion is that they weren't being nurtured, and we already know in history that white families were sending their children, girls and boys, off to boarding schools and things like that. So there was a disconnect. There was no hugging, no kissing, no nurturing, motherly nurturing. A lot of white women back then didn't breastfeed. Still, a lot of white women don't breastfeed. And so there's no real connection that boy, her son, really can get with her. This is why, and I'm not saying all, so I don't want anybody coming for me saying that I'm saying this about all white men and I'm saying this about all white women, but I'm telling you there is definitely a format that cause these type of things to happen?
And so because I love nutrition and I love exploring what interrupts nutrition, what I will say is they were out of their minds as opposed to being clear thinking individuals. And
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
People are not born wanting to fucking massacre people.
No, I didn't say that.
You can't give birth to a baby and look at them and be like they're gonna grow up
I didn't say that. But explain Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
There's an environmental influence.
His parents, the people that raised him were not those type of people, Miller.
There's an environmental.
He was not around that type of environment. He was not raised around that type of environment. So-called, he was raised by two great people, two great parents.
I want the interview. You know what? I'm glad you inspired me to look up Jeffrey Dahmer's.
But who's saying that? Who's saying that their parents were great? The parents? Because every parent's gonna say they're the greatest parent.
Right. No, I'm just saying that the general consensus. Are we done?
What happened?
Proceed.
The general consensus was, Miller, about Jeffrey Dahmer's parents, that they raised him up properly. The general consensus about Dylan Klebold's parents, that they raised him up properly. The general consensus about the kid that killed these folks at the Tops place was they came from a good two-parent household. That is the general consensus. I didn't say that they were good people. I'm just saying that this is how the media reported them. So my question to you, Miller, was explain Jeffrey Dahmer.
All right.
There is no explanation for him.
One word, influence. It doesn't necessarily, it's not delegated to the parents as to what influenced a Jeffrey Dahmer, if that makes clear sense. The word for your answer, your inquiry, is influence. There is an occurrence, a situation, a circumstance that influenced what became that person. It's I'm not going to blame parents.
No, ma'am. Again, sorry to cut you off, but you're trying to take me down. You're trying to go down this rabbit hole of what this young man was saying. This young man was clearly trying to say that white women treat their young white boys better than black women treat their young boys.
That obfuscates, that diminishes the other influences. Like, for instance, I didn't learn the term, and forgive me for saying this on your panel, right? It never occurred to me that the term nigga bitch is a thing, right? It's like, damn, that's my first time. Like, I was getting cussed out smoothly by somebody that had, that was agitated by me, and they retaliated and they use all kinds of cuss words. But here comes this term that was never introduced to me, nigga bitch. And I was just like, damn, what the fuck? Guess what is in my vocabulary? Not to use against others, but to remember that that's a possibility of a term that can be used against me. Nigga bitch. What I'm saying is, we are influenced by factors outside of how we were raised.
No,
I think Jeffrey Dahmer was influenced by factors outside of how he was raised.
Mr. DJ Music, I got a question for you.
Certainly.
Do you think that just because the media, this is me asking you a perspective, do you think they were telling the truth when they said that all these parents with these kids that were serial killers were upstanding parents? Do you think that something went awry?
They were influenced by factors outside of where they were raised.
No, that's to answer your question. No, that's why that's why I said it's not. This is not my reporting. That's why I said this is how the media reported these people as
Mhm.
upstanding members of the community, as good
And
parents.
your
So
feelings are?
my feelings are I don't know these people, so I can only go by
You
what I
can't
know of them.
you
I can only,
cannot discount that there are influences outside of your parental guidance.
I
You
got
cannot
another question for
discount that.
everybody.
yeah, the
A
hell.
lot of these serial killers started off by killing animals, squirrels, dogs, cats, and things like that, very viciously. And a lot of these parents witnessed their children doing that, right? And they did nothing. They did not see the disconnect from life from
That
these
yeah,
children
that's the
before
problem.
they become serial killers.
That's the problem.
So, do you think that they did their children a disservice by
Not
not seeing
making
warning
it.
signs?
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah,
Of
you make a
course,
good point.
they did, but that's I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. Yes, there were some warning signs, just as we were talking about in this particular stream that we were talking about. There
Mm-hmm.
are warning signs that some people should be able to pick up on. Now, I don't know. I just use those folks as I just say examples. I don't know Dylan Klebo's family. I don't know those folks, so I can only go by what's been reported. Yeah,
If
Mm-hmm.
a child
those
kills a
yeah,
cat and you're aware
those
of it and you don't address it, yeah, you're actually a hindrance to their well-being. You have to address when a child is doing something
So
disturbing.
this is why I'm going back to the statement about him saying white women and their sons. A lot of these white women push the violence or push for their sons to be that by shooting deer, by shooting. Now, I'm not saying hunting is
Now,
not
that's a
a
bold
thing,
statement.
because for survival reasons, if you're in a time and a place where you need to survive, yes, those skills are necessary. But I'm just talking about randomly killing animals and thinking that's okay, because that is the disconnect for
So
life that I'm
parents
telling you.
are perpetuating that violence is better than anything. That's what you're saying. I'm
No,
asking.
I'm saying that these women that he's saying are such great mothers, are
They
not, they don't
they
care about the
endorse
disconnect.
they endorse
you're absolutely
violence.
right, and okay,
The
you're
violence.
absolutely right, Angelica. You're absolutely right. I was not passing judgment. I was merely repeating to how these people reported in the news in
Yeah,
direct contrast
exactly.
of what this young gut brother in the orange was saying. And if
But
you
that's
listen
why
to the
I had to address him, because he's not right. This
right,
statement is incorrect.
it's absolutely 100% incorrect.
And that's why
Ask
I accused him of
ask
fetishizing. He
ask
wanted
Eminem that. You can
yeah.
ask Eminem that Eminem can tell you flat out that one of the worst people in his life was his mother.
Hmm. And he's only one of them telling the truth.
Okay, so let's
But
continue.
here we got this black man talking about the pedestalization.
Well, that's exactly what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
On the plantation, so you downplay his greatness, but like if we're unwilling to undo that, we'll continue to manufacture dysfunction, right? So I would just say to the women, consider how your power, how your influence, and sometimes paradoxically, it appears like weakness, it appears like deference, but like how necessary it is for our community's progress. And also men, my biggest critique of men is like we also incentivize the type of women who are not capable of rearing the sons that we will need to carry on our progress, right? So
Okay.
there's a chicken or the egg thing, but like we have to both do our parts. Women need to
Go right ahead.
All right. I recently, ironically, just watched a movie called Four Brothers. And these who would otherwise be degenerate members of society was adopted by a white woman. This is the movie, okay? They were adopted by this white woman, and she in her care, they became, various aspects of productive members until it came time for them to retaliate against her unexpected murder. So that's a movie. And I'm emphasizing this movie only because what this man has just stated is that what to him appears to be needed is that there's this patience, this unconditional loving, this unconditional, presentation of consistency, no matter what, that would propel them to be their best selves. And I just want to emphasize that everything is situational. Like, everything is situational. If you get a disturbed child in your realm that you are to care for, it's up to you to determine how to handle that. And to just make it this brother is making it seem like only white women know how to handle a disturbed brother. I find offense. It's like, it's not about, the ethnicity of a woman as to how she handles a situation.
What
I want
I think
He's making it seem like only white women know how to raise black
no,
boys.
no, I think you're missing the point of what he's saying. So I'm going to see if someone else catches before I says anything. Go right ahead, Pio.
He made it seem like only white
I
women
wanted
know
to
how to
say
raise
to the
black
lady
boys.
that it was in the chat room that says she disagreed with me saying that white mothers push violence onto their children. Who has the most guns in this country? Who have the most guns in this country? Who does the most hunting?
There are illegal guns that.
No, I get that, but I just want to ask her. While she said she disagrees with me, I would like to know what she disagrees with, because then we can have a dialogue.
She can hit the link.
I think you're referring to Bruce, and that's Bruce is on the loose too. So I do. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brucey, but you are a man, aren't you?
Oh,
okay, Bruce.
So is it okay? So I'd like to have a dialogue with him. I'd like to know what he disagrees with and why he disagrees with it.
Well, let's play some more of this, Bruce. If you want to answer that question, I'll put it up on the screen, and then you guys can have that conversation about it. So let's play a little bit more of this.
Step up and say, I'm going to conduct myself, and I'm going to project even to men the greatness that I see in them, as opposed to speaking to the lowest common denominator like we commonly do. And then for men, I think we have to start making decisions of what we will and we will not tolerate. Unfortunately, a lot of boys these days are leaving the community to do that. But we have to be more serious about this.
So Hamp, this is my last question. I want to ask Alan. Alan, in 2025, without raising your voice, how can you get that woman? How can you get a disciplined woman, a woman that mess up and you have to correct her? How can you make that happen in year 2025? And please don't say leave, because that's a win for her as well. Because don't forget, she's incentivized for that leave.
Talk like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're a smart guy. Let me get that answer.
I think one of the things I said back in the day, I said boys react, men respond. Okay. Right. So I think, my mom would say like prevention is better than cure. I think men, we need to lean heavily into the vetting process.
Hell, you talk about.
Let me just land.
I got you.
I think often we lead with lust, and I think often we create we make exceptions for women. Like a lot of times when we look back at like the shitty women we mess with, we saw the signs up front, but we thought we could change her. We thought we were, we were that dude. And I think if we take that process more seriously, we won't have to correct in a severe way. We can direct, but I don't think we'll have to correct.
In every species, the woman challenged the man. Okay, there would have to be a point. You can't look at a lion and say, "Hey, man, you should have been more proactive." proactive and the vetting. We're not talking about the vetting because we know women are great interviewers. They will tell you whatever to get the job. We all do a little bit lying at the front. When you are in the situation, you tell your wife you hungry and you want food, and she say, no, I ain't doing shit, nigga. What is your next course of action, sir?
Number one, I've never been in that situation. But this is what I would say.
You got a degree. I need an answer.
This is what I would say. I would say in that type of situation, the best thing you can do is control yourself. And then you can make decisions moving forward as to how to mitigate the situation, whether it means leaving her, whether it means realigning your life in a way that doesn't need her, and then she has to prove her worth back to you. But I think, especially in 2025, like domestic violence, bro, you're going to jail. I think it sounds good, but it's not going to work, brother.
Martin Luther King and Malcolm X went to jail for what they believed in to make the community better. I'm gonna have to do it too. Because you ain't just gave.
Are we really serious? Are we really serious? These baseball cap wearing Negroes are delusional. They're delusional. These baseball cap wearing Negroes. There's a reason why they wearing hats on their head. There's a reason. You got this brother, it doesn't matter what he looks like. He is speaking in a way that is sensible. These baseball cap wearing Negroes, that's how you identify who doesn't make sense in life. And they want you to ride along with them. They want you to jump off the cliff. For their entertainment.
Regardless of the baseball cap, what has his brother Alan said that makes sense so far?
Alan is not diminishing the autonomy of a woman.
He absolutely is. This is the kind of silent nigga that will have you tied up in the basement with a red ball in your mouth. Yes, he is. He speaks well. He doesn't seem like he's not harmless, but he is.
Okay, I get you when it comes to dimensions of compatibility. I get you, right? There's
conventions of the compatibility.
No, I'm serious because
what I'm saying is, Mela, just because someone
man has to discern whether or not a woman is agreeable, a woman has to discern whether or not a man is agreeable.
I don't do the over talking thing. So let's try and some decorum.
What you want to say?
Hello.
Are you done? Okay.
Sure. What you want to say?
Now, again, like I said, and for everything that this young man has said so far, you've completely staunchly disagreed with. So what part now that makes you say that what he's saying, because he doesn't wear a hat, makes him different from those other guys?
I'm glad you asked. What I want to say is that comparing a date, an introduction to the possibility of a long-term marriageable relationship, I'm going to listen to the guy that's not wearing a hat. I'm going to listen to him. And I'm going to enact the skills of awareness and evaluate. I'm going to give him the deference of my time as opposed to the ball cap guy.
And that's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I meant.
That doesn't mean I'm going to give him access.
No, that's exactly.
I'm going to give him access to my physical. I'm just saying that in the event that I have a choice on a date between the baseball cap guy and this brother that's not wearing a baseball cap, I'm going to agree to have dinner with the non-baseball cap guy.
Right. What is the difference between the guy screaming and the guy that's speaking calmly? What is the difference?
The difference is
only the tone of the voice. The words are still the same. Only the tone of
Okay.
voice.
I thought you asked me a question. My bad. Okay. The difference is that there is an attempt to exercise self-control versus an attempt to assert dominance. That's the difference.
Can I state the obvious about the one guy that said that women know how to perform and interview well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, men perform an interview as well. Well, but it's up to you to have the discernment to ask the right questions that's going to pick them off, and you know that the answers are not going to fit for you and what you're looking for. So if he's asking generic questions and she's answering generic questions and not asking the pertinent questions, right? So that he can use his discernment, or she can use her discernment in picking a mate, it's his fault. It's not because she interviewed well. It's because you didn't ask the right questions.
You didn't ask the right questions. Absolutely. Absolutely. You didn't ask the right questions. So again, that goes back to exactly what they were saying. Maybe some of these women that y'all complaining about, maybe from instead of you guys telling women they should choose better, maybe you as a man should choose better.
Mm-hmm.
Let's continue.
Answer. You just gave me a bunch of jargon and some word salad, my guy. Like I said, bro, if we gonna get this shit back right, there's going to have to be accountability and discipline for everybody, just not for women, for men, for kids, for everyone. If we gonna get this shit back right, we can't keep acting like we can just talk to women and it's gonna be okay, because has that worked? No.
We agree.
We wouldn't be here.
We agree that there should be accountability and discipline. We disagree of how that looks.
Well, we're gonna make them do push-ups.
I think we all agree on this panel that there's changes need made on both sides. We all agree on that. No one on this panel, women included, has disagreed that women as a collective need to behave. There's behaviors need to be improved. No one said, like, no one's disagreeing with that.
I'm asking for the answer to it. Can you give me the solution?
But I'm just. But what's the answer to like the mental health crisis, right? Like when people are struggling and they just say random stuff. Like, what's the answer to that?
I hate mental health. We are the last group of niggas that
we know. That's why I'm asking about the crisis.
And there goes an answer right there. I hate mental health. I hate mental health. Hey, Shar, welcome to the panel. How are you? How are you? Anything you want to chime in so far?
Hello, Shar.
Shar, if you're talking, I can't hear you on your microphone.
Shar, are you with us? I've been missing you. Okay.
We are the last group of niggas that ever needed mental health. If King Malcolm X went through all that bullshit, don't tell us about no fucking mental health. We are okay. I guarantee.
Okay.
Go ahead.
To answer your question, just like what Alan was saying a little earlier, was it's all in the vetting process. So when you dating her and y'all just getting started and you tell her to make a sandwich and she like, nigga, no, that's the time to categorize her as you're not getting married. Trust me, because you don't make sandwiches. And I'm going to get me one that makes sandwiches before.
What if she do make the sandwich at first?
Oh, well, you got to think about it, right? You're going to have to battle test her before you give her the ring. So there's no way. And this is my perception. I don't think that a woman is going to change her stripes that drastically where you got to like,
you understand that making a sandwich.
So she could, get back right. I don't think it's that.
What if she do everything that you want her to do? What then?
That's
like at some point, a person that's sociopathic has to admit that there's no gratification that you can expect from them. Like this is the thing with people who don't understand how to research human beings. Okay, like at some point there are human beings that are not capable of reciprocating, period. And it is up to you to be aware of how to identify human beings that are incapable of reciprocating.
I wanted to say,
let me go back to something right here.
Making a sandwich is a white man's talking point. That talking point has been here since the early 1980s and the late 1970s.
It's cold.
He's using a white man talking point.
It's cold for one-sided reciprocation. It's cold for one-sided. You know,
yeah, but that's a white man. That's a white man terminology.
It's like, I want you to understand, you are here for my use. Period. And that's what the make me a sandwich thing is. It's like, you are here for my use.
I get that. I get the making the sandwich. I understand what y'all saying, but this is the part of his conversation I think that stuck out to me and it stuck out to Candy Cane Lane as well. Battle test. How do you battle test someone?
That's that one-sided bullshit.
How do you battle test? How do you put yourself in a relationship that what you're considering? The word battle speaks for itself. Wouldn't y'all agree? If I'm in a battle with someone,
you challenge. I'll tell you what battle is. Okay. I'm gonna challenge someone to acquiesce to me and understand to not expect that I reciprocate. That's what battle testing is.
Okay. I'd like to ask the men on here.
Do you agree?
I agree 100%. But I just I want to make this statement, and I have a question. If men are looking for women to be in submission, and let's just say shit does hit the fan, what do you think is going to happen to a woman who is solely submissive in a country or a territory where men take other men's women and they do all these different horrific things in battle, right? We're talking battle. Would you rather have a woman who knows how to fight and protect your children in the home, in the household, or a submissive woman that if another man enters the house, she lays down because that's all she knows is to lay down and take abuse from another woman, from another man? Which type of woman would you want in your house with your kids?
If you, since I'm the only man on the panel, I guess I'll answer that. To me is, I don't want a lay down woman for nothing. I don't want a woman that doesn't have an opinion. I don't want a woman that I can't converse with. I don't want a woman that I can't talk about anything with, because with anything, yes, looks is important. Yes, the sexual aspect of a relationship is important, but there's 24 hours in a day. How much sex can you have? Looks fade. So if you have a woman if you're out of the house that can't protect the children, that can't protect the home front, that can't operate without you being there, then you might as well have a house full of children. That's just my observation of it.
I don't understand the submissive make me a sandwich type shit, because if you're not there and let's just say you have a job and you're working out of town and somebody breaks into your house and you got a submissive woman, what's going to happen to your children and your wife?
Well, I again, this word that they use, submission, I think it's so many times that we've heard it used in so many different ways, and mostly in the wrong ways. It's taken on a whole different meaning. Submission, and to me, between a man and a woman, it's not something that you can quantify. It's something that you can write down on paper. When there's some things a man will submit to his wife about. There's some things a wife will submit to his man about.
Wait. So, what? Okay. There are some things that you can't write down on paper. That's right.
That's right. You can't. There's some parts of submission you can't be defined by putting it on paper. You just know.
If a man is a man, I'm going to just say this as a woman. If a man is a man, and a woman feels protected by her mate, her husband, she's going to submit. If he's legitimate in what he's bringing to into the household and to the family, she's going to submit. But also, She's gonna if he's not beating her down, right, in doing mate discipline like these guys are talking about, she's also going to be able to take care of business when he's not there. She's also going to be able to channel his masculine energy to protect her children and to protect the household. But these men are talking a whole different type of ball game. Women will naturally, if she's got a legitimate husband, submit to him. That's the order of things. And it doesn't matter if she's a feminist and she's out there in the workforce and all those things. If he's a legit man, she's going to submit in the household because that's her role. It's natural.
And that's my point exactly. It's not something that you can quantify. It's not something that you can put on a piece of paper. It's just natural. It's just like the wind. We know it's there. It happens, but you can you see it? Can you see the wind? No, it just happens. It just happens in a relationship to where some women will, dare I use the word in its correct sense, submit to the ways of their husband. They will submit to allowing the husband to be the leader of the household, but she won't submit to her husband to the fact that she will allow him to drive them off a cliff either.
That part. She has to trust him. She has to trust his judgment. Women won't submit if she can't trust him. If she doesn't think he's qualified, she's not going to submit at all.
That's exactly it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure. I don't know what's happening, but I couldn't hear you at all. I saw you coming back up and forth a few times, but I couldn't hear you. So my apologies. I think it's the same problem we were having the other night when we were recording it. So you might want to try the thing. Let's go ahead and finish this out there, ladies, and we'll come back and give us a closing out.
Really, it's going to be that serious. I think that you could vet her because we live in we got to adapt to the climate we in right now. Yeah. Everybody got the freedom of choice. It's 100% a choice, and you could determine that. And this is why I think that men make the mistake. And I'm not trying to just shit on the men, but this is why I think men make the mistake. They see the red flags, and they settle for a bunch of bullshit that they shouldn't settle for. Early on in the vetting process. If she not battle tested and she not willing to get on your program, because this is why I disagree with you. I'm in the marriage for a long time, and I've never had to hit my wife. You know what I'm saying? And she totally submits. But the thing about it is that we established that from day one. How you start, how you finish. So it's like, listen, we doing this thing my way, not our way. You know what I'm saying? And you got to get on board with that, or you could go and do your own thing, and I'm gonna do my thing. You know,
and that's not a win for you.
I'm gonna tell you how it's a win. I'm gonna tell you how it's a win because I'm not married at that point. You know what I'm saying? This is the dating process, so I haven't invested my time and energy in it. I haven't put all my life force into her. I'm not putting my money and resources in it. I'm letting her know right off the front, off the date. You know what I'm saying? Are you willing to submit? Yes or no? Yeah. Yes. All right, great. Let's move forward.
Hey, Hamp. Let me make this last point, and I got a dip, bro. And it's something I've talked about a lot on my channel. A lot of us as men are unsophisticated about how we approach the world and how we approach women. I think a lot of the things we say sound good in theory. They look good in movies, but they don't work. Right?
Damn, Skippy.
I made a series called the Yellow Flag series because a lot of times we talk about red flags, but often there are things that are yellow flags that we overlook. And my theory has been that men, and this isn't just men's fault, but men have been socialized to be sadomasochistic. A lot of men have been socialized to glamorize and seek out the most difficult women that we can find. And we attach our ego to our ability to tame her, right?
Now, again, we'll end it with that. Now, some things just don't make sense. And if you listen to these folks, again, they sound like they know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. But let's use some common sense right here. I'm going out. I'm putting on my Sunday go to meeting clothes. I'm going out to the club. Do I know who I'm going to meet until I get there?
No.
Do I know when I do meet this girl, do I know her family background? Do I know what kind of money she has in her pocket? Do I know her upbringing?
No.
So how you going to vet that?
Well, they don't want to take the time to do observation on a potential mate.
Thank you very much. They just want to skip over to, I want you to submit to me because this is how it's written. Not let me vet you to see if you're going to be someone that I can get along with or you can get along with. Because no matter what you say about it, two broke folks don't do nothing but argue.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know the business behind what he was talking about just now. But again, let's go around the table here. And let's get some final thoughts before we get out of here. I had another clip, but I'll save this one for another time. So let's start with Mella. Go right ahead, Mella. Some final thoughts.
All right. My final thoughts are what's not being uncovered is the tendency for people to want to explore their options while they're in a committed relationship. The reneging aspect of one's character is the faulty line. Like, a woman or man can be everything that it is you would hold dear to yourself. Unless you explore the fact that you're the type of person that wants to dip out, you're going to have a fucked up relationship. Like, nobody's going to accept that you commit to them while you're stepping out unless there's incentives to ignore it. But I'm talking about genuine one-on-one relationships. You're coming to me with the guarantee of a one-on-one relationship, but what's not being discussed is that more likely than not, somebody's going to dip out. And you have to be able to examine whether or not somebody has the self-control it takes to not dip out. I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about the constitution of understanding what it takes to stick and stay. And a lot of people don't want that. And this is why this whole, you got to be on my program narrative exists, because they want the freedom to frolic, to be whimsical, to change their mind, and then come back to home. And that shit ain't gonna fly, because you have, that partner that you seduced into committing to you has options, and now you're mad because they left your dumb ass.
Okay. All right. I say closing thoughts, not to start a whole new show, Mella.
Okay, peace and blessings, everybody. I hope I see you later, Mella. Beneficial as opposed to being outrageous. I like to perform, but from time to time, I would hope to say something significant that makes you think.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being part of the program here. And Pure Butterfly, I'll go to you next. Closing thoughts.
Yeah, my closing thoughts are I'm tired of seeing channels like this that just spew bullshit. I would love to see people, like the question I asked Big J, who should be the role models on social media? Who should we be looking up to? Or people that actually speak what can actually fix the problems in America and the world, and have those people in the forefront, and people listen to them and apply what it is that they have, the knowledge they have, the wisdom they have. You're one of those channels. I know there's a couple more, but I feel like we need a lot more. And it doesn't matter what race you are, men stepping up and showing or giving answers that are vital to fix the problems in America. We haven't had that. And that's what I want. I'm tired of these hamster wheel channels. I'm sick of them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sick of them.
Gotcha. I agree with you. And last but not least, Candy Cane Lane, your thoughts for tonight?
Well, I just popped back up because of the whole sadomasochist comment that he made about how men can
Uh-oh.
be like somewhat conditioned for it. I
Mm-hmm.
see where he's kind of coming from, not to, not to go against the grain, but like, I don't know that they're necessarily conditioned for it, but think about how many men go after like IG models or like women who dress like real scantily clad just to turn around and try and now have her change her style of dress. It's the whole conquer thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? And in the case of you see someone, I'm gonna use JP because he was an example from yesterday that was just out and about showing off. But JP, for example, he doesn't like the pick me women who are, oh JP, whoa, 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 woe is me. What I see him going after are the women who talk the most crap to him, like Flora. I hate to throw you into Flora. Don't take offense to this, but what I'm trying to point out is the sadomasochism. What I see coming into play in my eyes is that they want to tame the people or women or however you look at it who seem to be the most opposite of them. If I can come in, if I can conquer them, if I can subdue them, then I've won. That's what I see it as. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So that's why I
Absolutely.
wanted to expand on where he kind of got cut off a little bit, where he said sadomasochism and men are trained that way. I do kind of believe that because a lot of you want things that you really can't handle. You want it just so you can tame it.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree with you. I agree with that statement. That's one of the few things that he did say that I will agree with. That sometimes we are conditioned to believe that. And again, with your contribution with the IG model, a lot of these guys, they look at these IG models or some of these video pictures, and they know they're out of their league already. But still, and the case of you using J Prince, I got a loose nigga roundup coming up on him. I got my thoughts on J Prince. He think because he blocked me from his channel that I still don't see his bullshit and shenanigans, but I do. But I got something on him that'll correlate with just exactly what you said. He seems to do like women that more likely point out his bullshit.
He especially like the Cynthia G's,
Yes.
that's his type right there. The women who are going to go back and forth and argue and fight with him and tell him what a degenerate and a bandit he is. It's like it turns him on the most. I noticed
Yes,
that.
absolutely. You're absolutely right. But I know I got to go out of town tomorrow, so it probably won't be till Monday or Tuesday. I'll do my next live stream. But let me give my closing take on this, if you folks, if you don't mind. Now, what I've seen here today, the reason why I pointed this out is because this is dangerous rhetoric for two reasons. Number one, for the content creator that allows men to come up and speak like this. Number two, for the crowd that listens to this, because all you need, it only takes one person to strike a match. Now, at some point in time, I want you folks to go over and look at the comment section of this particular stream. It says TUKAY, it says whatever the comments, you'll see what I mean. But then you'll see one common thread. It's not the women saying the comments, it's the men. These are random men that just out there amongst you, out there amongst my nieces, out there against your mothers, your sisters, your aunties. These are the men that are in these comment sections that y'all might run into. So to answer the question earlier that someone posed to me, why does it make a difference? Because men don't care who's in their community, who they're protecting. They just protect them. There's no written rule to why if I see a woman being abused that I shouldn't say nothing because I don't know her. I don't know the woman that's in my charge. Yes, it's my duty to protect her, but also it's also knowing that that woman is still not in my charge, and it's not up for me to go and correct her. That is a difference. Some of these men don't see that. They think that every woman, especially these black men, are there for them to correct. And it's not that way. They act like these women don't have their own minds, their own brains. 90% of the women that I run into these YouTube streets will run circles around these men. So when I asked my honest and sincere question to you ladies is, if you're going to be on the YouTube streets, if you're going to give these folks money, why don't you give it to someone with a like-mindedness of you? And that means another woman. And Candy Kane answered that earlier because I see it for myself. Y'all women do not support other women's channels unless there's a bunch of fuckery going on.
Absolutely. As somebody who hosts panels, it's hard to get other women to even want to join. And I can't fault them. I understand a lot of people are shy or not like, they're chatters. They're not people who actually hit panels. But for the ones who do hit panels, it's hard to get them to want to support. If there's not a man up there that is causing some havoc, they tend to kind of steer clear, and you get your regular crowd.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So for those of you folks that do have channels, please feel free to drop it off in the down in the comment section up on the listening lounge. No worry, the HT1 man. Anytime, all commentary is great commentary. There's no such thing as a rant here, bro. That's why we have these streams, so I can get a better perspective of what I'm talking about, and also maybe somebody can put something or talk about something here in the chat room that I could be wrong about. I don't mind being wrong. I really don't, and that's another thing. These niggas can't stand being wrong. They hate it. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, again, be safe out there. Like I always say on my radio show, the grace of day costs you absolutely nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to someone. Might change the way they're thinking, might change the way they're living. You never know if you walk past them and don't say hello. Thank you there, Miss J. Lynn, for coming up and hanging on to the stream there with me. Again, folks, y'all be safe out there. And I'll see everybody sometime soon within the next couple of days or so.
Bye. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Look, all you motherfuckers been snitching for him and shit. Now you standing up in here and goddamn it talking about preacher. Fuck that nigga. Fuck that. I'm gonna shoot your ass too, motherfucker. Keep on. You gonna get shot too, nigga. You gonna get shot. God bless the fool, goddammit. God bless the fool. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna end this goddamn thing. Look, where's that goddamn money bowl at? Who got that money bowl? We're taking that money right now before you leave this bitch. We ain't leaving out here for free, motherfucker. Yeah. Y'all know the motherfucker ain't no good. You want, look,